Yo, what is going on, everybody out there? Thanks for tuning in. Friday night, we got a doozy planned for you tonight. Really, no topic whatsoever. We're just gonna hit on top of a lot of stuff. We do have a little different crew here tonight. Where I guess KJ is out of town, Baker's out of town, Gutters is popping in. She's got company, and we've got Dingo here joining us. So good to see everybody. We appreciate you tuning in. LW, how you doing tonight?
Oh, doing pretty good. Looking forward to another week of some fun conspiracy, some callers later. And what about that cool intro, man? That was great. Did y'all like that?
Oh, that was great.
I loved it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, looking forward to it. How are you doing, Gutters?
Good. Been busy with company and stuff, but yeah, they took off for a little while to visit their relatives, so I was sneaking in.
There you go. Well, it's good to have you. We didn't think we'd get you to join us tonight. So good to have you on here. Dingo, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there, making the best of it. But looking forward to tonight.
What the heck was that? Got a gong going off in the background.
Sound check.
Right, check one, check two. So yeah, that's quite interesting there. Now you've dove into quite a few of these conspiracies here, haven't you, Dingo?
Yeah, that's pretty much spend my free time doing pretty much. But yeah, been checking out quite a few here lately.
What would you say your favorite is?
My favorite.
Yeah, what do you think's the most fun?
Well, my most recent one I've been digging into was the moon landing. And pretty much what I've been watching on it, listening to certain engineers talking about, it's kind of convincing me. I don't know.
Convincing you of?
Oh, that we didn't go.
What's like your most compelling evidence that we didn't?
Well, the most compelling evidence, I would have to say, is pretty much the radiation belt. We haven't developed the technology to cross through it. So it's not technology that was lost, obviously, with beeping buttons and no computers. So I think that that's just, a gimmick that they're using for a space race to beat the Soviet Union at accomplishing certain things.
Right.
I agree.
And then you had that hellacious decade of the 60s. You had JFK, who promised it. He was assassinated. His brother was assassinated, Martin Luther King, Vietnam. It was, in 1969, it seemed like they just wanted to have something good,
Exactly. They wanted to get everybody good morale, get everybody feeling good about themselves and leading in a certain direction. And also another topic on this, I'm not sure if any of y'all have dug into this, but certain engineers through NASA, they even confirmed it takes about 26 rockets that have to be launched that are taller than a Saturn V in order to fuel the ship to travel to the moon. Well, Obviously that never happened under the Apollos.
Yeah, they were saying too, like they would have to go up there and refuel it or something, just to even get it there. I was reading about that as well. So that was one of the things that gets me on that is that they always say, well, we don't have that, we lost the technology, but they even say the original footage of it. They're like, we lost the original footage of it. Like how would you like the most spectacular thing that mankind has ever done, and to be like, oh, we recorded over that? Yeah,
I know.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, dang, we recorded over the NASA missions to the moon with Timmy's softball game.
Right.
We taped the final episode of Cheers over.
Yeah, that's the one that I quite never understood. Like, how would you do that? You're not going to just record over it.
And the NASA guy, he's been on video interview from NASA saying that they've lost all the technology. They don't know how to get back to the moon, and they're trying to figure it out again. I'm like, all right, it's in the 2000s now. Come on.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not buying that. Like you would think maybe they would, maybe, I don't know. They think you're stupid. I think half the time they just think you're dumb. And they'll tell you anything and it just expects you to believe it. It's like the, Pentagon losing $2 trillion and being like, oh, well,
Right.
look, squirrel.
Yep.
Nobody really cares.
Look, 9/11.
Right.
And that's not even to mention the Apollo craft they went there in. I mean, what? That thing looks like it's just that doesn't look very safe.
No, not at all. There's nothing safe about that. the lander, I could try to pull that up. I always like looking at pictures of it. Yeah, it looks absolutely ridiculous.
Was
And I'm
that
sure
a whole
I've-
bunch of tinfoil?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find a decent picture of it here. A decent
And I'm-
picture of this thing.
I'm sure I've said this before, but I've been to NASA in Houston and Huntsville, Alabama,
Oh, nice.
and I've told people my opinion on it that we didn't go, and I went to the one in Houston one time, and they have all the displays of the stuff that landed on the moon and the little just the suits, everything, and what they came back in. And I went with somebody who totally thought I was crazy for believing that. And they sat there and they looked at all these displays and they looked over at me and said, no fucking way we landed on the moon.
I mean, look at this thing.
Look at this shit. Science project, dude. Like fucking tinfoil and cardboard.
I mean, that right there, that looks like what is that stuff like that paper, decoration stuff wrapped around? I mean, that's like foil.
And look at how there's no dust on the feet of it. Like it
That's
landed and not one piece speck of dirt got on the feet of it, on the top of it. Like it really? Like, so when it landed, no dust flared up or nothing. I understand there's no gravity, but still, when they walk, I'm pretty sure there's dust that gets on their feet.
Exactly. Well, let's not mention also, where's the stars?
Yeah, and that could, I mean, I've heard arguments for that kind of would make sense, but you can't tell me this hunk of shit landed on the moon.
That looks like something your drunk uncle works in the back of his yard. Like some sort of weird treehouse he's trying to make out of the leftover shit in the garage.
Right, it does. I mean, look at the legs over here where it's landing, and then you look at the bottom, like, what do they just have it wrapped up in plastic or tinfoil?
Right.
Looks
Yeah.
like a giant popcorn maker.
Yeah, that's about right.
There's one, and it's I don't see it right now, but it was a really close up one, and it reminded me specifically of a science project that I seen when I was young. I don't think it was me that built it, but I'm pretty sure it was one of our science gurus, and it looked just like it. Like cardboard, tinfoil, the whole bit.
Yes.
And you know how you'll get people who tell you can see the flag on the moon with telescopes from Earth. And nobody says that except these people. Not NASA doesn't say it. You just chat GPT or Google Assist and no, the American flags on the moon cannot be seen from Earth, even with the most powerful telescopes, due to their small size and vast distance.
Like, look at this, these panels. I mean, they're not even sealed right here on there. And
Yeah.
I mean, is this a Band-Aid? Like,
Look at it.
and then you got that tape. It looks like that tape they use for like HVAC work, when they just go
Yeah.
back
Exactly.
to the side. And then you got like a trash bag hanging here off the side over here, which I like. And then this looks like canvas over here, the little octagon looking thing over there, with doesn't that look like canvas? See the folds in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
They did just slap some Flex Seal on it and we'll go to Mars. It'll be all right.
I'm Jimmy Mays Hayes here.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's flex tape on the very front. If you look, it is flex tape. I'll never forget one time Marvin, being an airplane mechanic, said that he was working at the gate and he hated working there because everybody can see what you're doing and and they're always bitching at you because you're maintenance and they always blame it on you. Everybody at the airport does. So they went out and they had to put flex tape on something, and he said he looked up and the look on those people's faces was the look of shock because he was putting flex tape on the wing area, and it was basically, I don't know what the deal was, but there was a reason for it. It wasn't like a safety thing. It was just basically, I don't know. But anyway, they were quite I think they were pretty pissed that he was sticking flex tape on the airplane they were already on.
Let me see if I can bring up the buggy that they supposedly drove around in. Okay, so here we go. So now we have this.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure we had one of those that went through the parade. It looked just like that.
I mean, I always loved the seats. They're like those, the old camping chairs that you would have gone and they would get old and you could go to Walmart and buy the strands or whatever the heck you call it. They'd get old and the fibers would poke you in the back and stuff. So you'd have to redo them. I mean, that's what those are. Those are folding lawn chairs.
Right. They're just missing the cooler in the back.
And those can't be rubber tires, are they?
They look it.
Yeah.
Because the science also shows, NASA says that rubber melts in space.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not that rubber.
Not that rubber.
Yeah, not if Stanley Kubrick designs it.
I'm sure y'all have seen all the videos of when they're in space and they're doing cool little things for people on Earth, like drinking a soda and flipping around and the chick's hair is standing up. Have you ever seen where the blue screen or the green screen craps out? You can see them pulling the wire. And then some of it doesn't make sense. Some lady with the ponytail, her ponytail isn't flying up in the air or isn't standing up in the air. But this other lady looks like, fucking Medusa. It's like, what is key? So a ponytail will keep it down.
Well, of course.
Long ponytail.
Yeah, 100%. That's just the way that it works. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I mean, there's a million other things too. But, one of the main things I always go back to is that they, losing we lost the original footage like we were talking about earlier. That, there's no way you would lose that footage.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like no way you'd lose that footage. It's just impossible.
Well, and what they were able to supposedly get them, the way that the way the reception came in for them, it seemed a little much for back in the day, especially where now they're still, they still show them out in space somewhere, and they're cutting out now more than they were back in 1969 or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's a good movie, Something Happened on the Way to the Moon, I believe it's called. It's that guy the guy who made the movie, he ended up getting punched by Buzz Aldrin, but he requested a bunch of stuff from NASA, like what they could declassify and what they could get. So we got a bunch of videos and paperwork and stuff like that. Well, in the videos he received from inside the cockpit of when they called Nixon, when they were showing how far away from the Earth they were. But what that reveals is that they were just above Earth, and they were making the blacking out part of the window to make the Earth seem far away. And then when they took it off, they're just right above it, that you can see nothing but blue.
I mean, it's totally believable. Hey, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm gonna I don't know why this thing keeps skipping. I'm gonna X out of here. I'll be right back.
That sounds about right, though. I mean, well, look at it being logically. If you had a spouse that lied to you as much as what we've caught our government lying to us, would you ever believe them?
Exactly.
No, just like, I mean, we're not going to bring up the stuff for today, but it's just like
No.
the stuff today. I'm like, no, okay, I'm not going to believe you now.
Oh, exactly.
For me, I think one of the biggest things is when you lie to me, you think I'm stupid. If you can lie to me and you think I'm going to believe it, you think I'm stupid that I'll believe it. So for me, that's the biggest problem I have when somebody lies to me. I don't care what it's about. You actually believe I'm dumb enough to believe it.
Exactly. And with social media nowadays, it's more difficult to get away with a lie because people are communicating on a worldly event here, you know. So they can for such the media can tell you, oh, this is what's going on here in a certain part of the world. Meanwhile, you're actually seeing live photos and videos of what's taking place, and it usually turns out to be completely different. And just tired of being lied to. And I wouldn't be upset if they came out and told the truth. It's like, hey, we just want to look like we were better. I'd respect that.
You know what? Not now. Even if they came out to me now and said, okay, we lied about it all, I'd be like, you're right, you did, you sons of bitches, and now every one of you are out. Get the hell
Right.
out. We're done.
I get that.
There's no, I mean, at this point, because then it means all the other things that they've told us is a lie as well. Now I don't believe nothing you've said. Nothing. It's the same thing that happened, you know.
But you mean your government would lie to you?
Right, exactly. How dare they? No, they wouldn't do that.
Straight out of Dodge.
Create out it. Yep.
And didn't we give? I think we gave Amsterdam, like as a present, like a gift. We gave them some moon rocks, and they looked at it. And was like, "Well, this looks like bullshit." And they tested it, and they tested it as like petrified wood. And then,
That's true. That's true.
yeah, that's
I
true.
heard about that.
and then people were like, "Well, what about this, NASA?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we can't really give anybody moon rocks." Well, why'd you lie to them and tell them it was moon rocks then? And then they're like, "Well, we can't really show everybody, but people have seen it." And you're like, "Well, who's seen it?" "Well, we can't tell you." Like it's like an Abbott and Costello routine.
Who's on first? What's on second? A big shout out to Scott there, Controversial Cruising. I appreciate that, man. Much appreciated. He just gifted out 5 Traveling Fools memberships there. Much appreciated to you, brother. Who got a Mayo Monkey, Rig Pig, 420 Fred, Casey Jones, Oddcast, and Braska Rascal. So thank you so much there, Scott. I think I probably have something fun I can play for you here in appreciation. That was a cool stream you did earlier too. Everybody should go over there if you're not subbed up to Controversial Cruising. Sub him up. Good friend of mine. Awesome page. Love all the stuff he does. Thank you so much, Scott. Much appreciated again. Hey, let me know in the chat there, Controversial Cruising. So we're talking it up here. Do you believe we landed on the moon? I'm kind of curious. I'd like to know. Everybody in the chat there, let us know. Do you think we actually landed on the moon in that hunk of shit lunar module thing?
And it's a safe space. Even if you believe the conspiracy that we did, it's okay. We don't think anything less of you.
Oh, we will troll the shit right out of you, but it'll all be in good fun. We mean it very lovingly.
Oh yeah. Dark says hell no. Yeah, it's just hard for me to believe, but you know.
Scott. We love Scott. He's a good dude. Aw, thank you, Scott.
Let me see this.
He's sprinkling.
What is it? Sorry, I got to get back to the chat over here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now he's going over there to
Yeah.
Gutters page there too.
know.
Look at that. I'll let Gutters thank you for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. And I don't, well, even on my page, I really don't have a little dancey thing, so. Yet, but Fools is going to make me one. Because
I will make you one, Gutters. I will make you one. I promise.
in his free time.
Yeah, I have a lot of that. Y'all know I have a lot of free time. So I'll bring this thing back up. I just like looking at this, but I don't know which one looks worse, that or this thing. Just really not sure.
Well, that one right there, when you go close up on it, if you look at the gaps on each individual piece of what they're trying to call sheet metal, I think is poster board. Pretty sure I used the same shit doing one of our, mock-ups. But if you look at it, that there's huge gaps in those pieces of what they call sheet metal, aka poster board.
Paper mache. Well, let me ask you this, Dingo. You're still with us, right?
I sure am.
Now, okay, so you have military, things like that. If they went up to you and said, "Okay, you see this thing right here? We're gonna put you in this thing, and we're gonna fly you up to the moon and drop this hunk of shit out of the sky and land it on the moon with you in it," what would you say?
Well, first thing I would ask is, do I get hazard duty pay? No, I wouldn't find that very trustworthy. I don't know. I'd probably get out of the military if that was the case.
AWOL.
Yeah,
Right. Wow.
time to move to Canada.
Right. Yeah, that thing, it's just, I don't know. I've never been able to believe that this thing went there. Yeah,
give
moving on.
Give each of my kids $50 million, and I'll think about going in that hunk of shit. Other than that, not really.
No,
Yeah, I don't even think I'd do it for that.
not for that even. Yeah, it wouldn't matter if they told me they'd give. No, because I know what would happen. I'd die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not too cool. So what's another fun topic there? We're not lunatics, we're not flat earthers. We just don't all believe that we made it to the moon. I just have trouble believing it. And they say that too, not to jump that, and I think Copper was even saying something in the comments there about it, how to where there was how many people they say went there? Is it 15 or 18? 18, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, it's 18, and I think they say 12 people have walked on it, but they never talked about, you never really heard about any of the other ones. Just that first one,
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, you would think over time, the video and the pictures would get better and better as technology advanced over that decade. But apparently, it wasn't as cool enough as the first one.
Yeah, definitely not. So I'm not quite convinced. So what else? What's another topic there, Patty or Dingo? You got another one?
Well, one of the things I came across, I want to say I saw it on social media, but the U.S. patent, I'll read it out for you. US 1014453 B as in Bravo 2. And that there is supposed to be the U.S. Navy patent on anti-gravitational aircraft. But when I say anti-gravitational, it's also for the air and the sea. It's a triangular craft.
Yeah, you were telling me, didn't you say how fast could that thing go in the water?
Oh, if I recall correctly, there's a lot of writing here for it, but we're talking 600 miles an hour, 600 knots roughly,
In the water.
Yes, but it explains in the patent, it has its own gravitational field, and of course you're not going to get resistance like you would with the air because it would cause heat for it to burn up, and the same with the water because it wouldn't be feasibly possible. So a lot of the things that people report, it looks like it's the U.S. Navy's patent, some type of craft that they have built, and this is from 2018.
Yeah, that's interesting. I saw a picture. I wish I could bring it up. That thing you shared is hard to bring up with that little picture. You know what I mean? But it looks cool. It looks almost like a stealth bomber.
Yeah. Well, keep this in mind is can you prove something exists until they release classified information? No, you can't. There's no way to get in there to prove any of that or get in restricted areas. But there's a couple things the government can't hide, and that is the patents and the national deficit. So you look at those types of situations, and it's like, well, we know this thing exists. Is it built? I would say probably so, because they seem to know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you were telling me something the other day when I was talking to you about with the deficit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What was that?
Well, I don't have the numbers in front of me because it's just off the top of my head here. But if I'm correct, pretty much from the start of the country up to end of 2008, it was $10.2 trillion, if I'm correct. And between 2009 to 2025, which I believe it was June 5th, 2025, we've accumulated 27 trillion and change of national debt. Now, if having World War II, having Vietnam, having the space race, having all these different things, and we've accumulated $10.2 trillion, what are we spending this money on? And that's, of course, it's outside of the budgeting area. It's all in black projects, most likely. So, it's obvious, especially, other shows, you see them talking about underground facilities, what are they building? What do they know about that we don't know?
No telling. It's probably all underneath the Denver airport, right?
I wouldn't doubt that. But I believe the last estimation, it was someone that was doing a study on it. We're looking at upwards about 180 known underground bunkers, underground facilities in the continental United States. It could be 187, maybe 170, but it's right around that 180 mark.
Do you think we would get the invitation to go there if we needed it?
Well, what do you have to offer?
Exactly. You're not invited. That's what we were talking the other night about, Elon Musk and the moon and Mars, and all that stuff. And it was like Gutters put it. She says, yeah, we're all going to end up being grounders.
Yep. Well, they all go to Mars and live on a spaceship for 100 years till all the radiation is worn off.
Well, they gotta get past that radiation belt first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll see that when you start putting all these things, everything kind of somehow ends up back together somehow, make it a puzzle piece. But when you look at all of it, Agenda 2030, they were talking about 20 years ago, which is coming up soon, and all their predictions on the population decline and stuff like that. It seems like it's all, and you mentioned those bunkers, it seems like it's all heading towards, like, they know something we don't, we just don't know quite what it is yet.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. That we just all, here's what it is we've been brainwashed to believe that we're not strings on a puppet. Like we're all just a bunch of puppets. They've got our arms and legs and we just kind of, okay, pay our taxes, go to work, pay our taxes, go to work. That's just kind of how it is.
Exactly.
Like you pay your taxes because why? Because if you don't, they're gonna take your shit and throw you in jail.
Yeah.
Well, also look at Mount Weather in Virginia. It's about 60, 70 miles west of DC.
Uh-huh.
Just recently, over the last month, USA Today posted in their paper they are doing renovations to the underground facility there. Well, of course, they asked the question, and you can look it up online. But they said, well, that's classified. They're not going to tell why they're doing renovations or what they're doing. Well, why would they say that towards a FEMA location?
I'm telling you, We're gonna be grounders. We're
Uh,
it's it. Can I be the girl that got that really hot guy? He was a grounder. Like he took her to his cave and like slapped her around a little bit and then fell in love with her. I think I want to be that girl. I don't remember. It's on the 100. That should be everybody's homework. Watch the 100.
It was good at the beginning, but it got
It
bad.
was. But if you wait to get through, like I said, to the part where they talk about the AIs, then it'll really freak you out because the movie goes or the show goes basically with what's going on today. Like it's exactly how it could end up.
Oh,
well,
exactly.
isn't that type of stuff? Bulls, you know more about Atlantis, but was it like 12,000 years ago? Some mass like extinction event where it's like a asteroid or whatever.
Well, yeah, the Younger Dryas.
Right. Yeah.
Right, with the the floods, all the flood myths
all the
from every
floods,
different culture. Everything goes back, and it's the Younger Dryas period. And every culture has the same thing, whether it's Noah or whether it's and they all go back to that 12,000 year ago period where everything changed.
Right.
And that's a fascinating thing there.
And that kind of goes into like, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, they might know something's happening that we don't know. That's why they're planning. That's why Bill Gates is putting $30 million of seeds in some bunker mountain in Norway, and Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. Like they're trying to get the hell out of here. What they know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Hey, I do want to touch on this thing Gixxer put in there. Here's the topic: did Hitler flee to Argentina or did he die in Germany? Now that's a pretty interesting one there, and I've actually thought about we should look into that a little more at some point. What do you guys say? LW, you go first. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, I think that's what happened. And there's a lot of people in Argentina who say that it. And if you look at the people that a lot of Nazis went down there, it seems. If you look at the people from Argentina, there's a lot of Argentinians, brunette with blue eyes, a lot of good-looking women down there. But
right,
you think he just went and populated the land?
Well, a lot of Germans did.
Oh,
if they weren't in the Nazi draft, like what is that? Paperclip, Operation Paperclip. They all escaped. I mean, there's no proof that he shot himself.
No, none at all.
Yeah, what do you know about that, Fools?
I mean, I've, of course, like with anything, those World War II stuff fascinates me, and I've looked into this. I mean, you had, Adolf Eichmann, he went there. You had Joseph Mengele, the angel of death. He was down there. And remember, there was even the thing that he was the mad scientist, and was experimenting on all like the people there. But he was also doing all those tests with twins. And how to create twins and with the perfect race, because that's what they were looking for, And then he ended up, there's this, I think it's in Argentina or right there by it, but there's this little village right there next to where he was. And they had like, it's like an anomaly with how many twins were born after that period in that place. It was like, I mean, there was like every person had twins,
No, that's very true.
Which is Gutters. You know anything about that? No, Gutters is peeing off the porch. Dingo, what do you know about that?
Well, I've heard actually tests were done on the corpse that were found in the bunker that they claimed Hitler died in, and I'm unfamiliar what kind of tests they ran, but the body they claimed that was Hitler's was actually a female.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong. You could be right, but I think they had the skull.
Yes, I believe that's it.
And then they tested the skull, and they were like, "This is a woman."
That's correct.
Didn't they burn the body?
Yeah. The only proof is that Russian soldiers said that he killed himself. That's the only proof. There's no other proof than that.
And as well in Argentina, there's a number of different villages that are strictly, they
Or
even
Soviet.
speak German. The architecture is German. They speak German as a fluent language in these villages in Argentina. So I mean that's kind of interesting in itself.
Yeah, and they found submarines at the bottom of the ocean off the shore down there in Argentina. They've History Channel actually, I think it was the History Channel. They actually did a docu-series, maybe 4 or 5 episodes, where they went down there and they ripped up all this stuff, and underneath are all these Nazi graves with swastikas on the gravestones. They have German festivals in Argentina all the time. There's a lot of evidence.
Yeah, there's a huge population of Germans went there.
Yeah.
And they accepted them. I mean, Argentina accepted them. I was watching a thing recently, and it was showing all the interviews and stuff like that with the people who had claimed that, that they had worked for, worked for Hitler and been there with him and ate dinner next to him in the restaurants that he used to go to. And I mean, these people were like, yes, that was him, and these old people doing that, saying that stuff.
Yeah, I saw a documentary. They were asking some old lady in whatever that town they say that he lived in, and they asked her, and she's just a lady walking down the street. She's like, "Oh yeah, he lived right up there." They showed him a picture. Showed her a picture. She's like, "Yeah, he lived up there 20 years," without a hesitation.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they even talked about probably the same documentary I watched. They even go in and talk about, how the medication and the morphine and all the stuff that was getting bad, and the Alzheimer's medicine. They had all these doctors coming in and things, and he would just be and everybody was like, yeah, they know who that is. All the people in that area were like, no, that's Hitler. Keep your mouth shut. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right. And there's some grainy picture, isn't there, fools, that it's like him sitting on a porch next to his I guess whatever Argentinian lady he married or whatever. It's kind of grainy, but like an older man. And it kind of looks like him. Wish I could find it.
Yeah, he didn't marry a Argentinian lady. I mean, he had, Ava Braun there, and I guess she had left before he supposedly passed away. She had already left.
Right.
I guess he was going crazy, but there's look and see if you can find a picture of that.
Let me see.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to let you wreck your Google search. I'll let you Google the Nazi stuff. And real quick, Carnival Cruise Addicts. Much appreciated, brother. Coming in there. Happy birthday to you. You're not supposed to do this. It's your birthday, man. Happy birthday, though, buddy. Really appreciate though. Gifting out 5 Traveling Fools memberships. Let me see who got them. We got Frantic Missy got one. PW got one. Polly Anna got one. 5 Zoot got one too. And Cold Creek. Much appreciated to you, brother. I thank you. Thank you very much. It's your birthday. Here you go. Much appreciated, my friend, and a happy birthday. God bless you. Hope it's
happy birthday.
I hope 39 is as good to you as it is to the rest of us.
So, fools, in chat, there's been a couple people that have actually said that they've gone through a couple different things. Kaya said she cared for a Hungarian man who had the tattoo from the camps. And
Oh, wow.
she said he was a broken man, never had kids, left his entire wealth to some distant great niece who never knew he existed.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah, Wolf of Walnut. I see that too. I'm just now catching up with the chat there. Oilers, I'll drop the link here in a little while. But I will. Just hang in there. I'll drop the link. Wolf of Walnut says Hitler probably got in his face. I don't even think so, though. That was the thing. He was just, obviously surrounded by, I mean, from what they say, he was just surrounded by, his people. What's up, Andy Heinrich? But yeah, that was I mean, those people, they swear to the fact that he was there. So I don't know. Great topic though. I do like that.
I can't find the picture, but I did come across something that I totally forgot about. There's actually been a CIA document that was declassified years ago that after World War II, they were actively looking for him. Because they knew they had no proof. So it's an actual thing that for 3 or 4 years, they were actually looking for him in South America.
Well, you know, what's interesting is this would make sense for Admiral Byrd and his fleet going down there. And I'm not saying, you know, this is what happened or that's what happened, but maybe the whole UFO cover up with the whole Admiral Byrd story was really the story they were using, so people didn't know they were down there looking for Hitler. That's
interesting. I actually never thought about it that way. Yeah. You're referring to, in case nobody knows out there, you're referring to the Admiral Byrd mission, like to Antarctica.
That's correct.
Yeah. Which is really interesting in itself.
It is.
Yeah, there's so many of these things that you've never really, you know, gotten the truth out of anything at all. And I kind of like this comment here. What's up, Anastasia? Not a Romanov. Says, you mean our government lies to us? Never.
Not even one time.
Good to see you, though. Yeah, sorry if I missed any chats. I was looking other stuff up there. Do appreciate everybody being in here. And this is streaming out. We're on LW's channel. We're on Gutter's Pub channel. This is going out on X as well. So we do appreciate everybody tuned in right now. You know, happy you're spending your Friday night with us.
Yes. And make sure y'all go over and sub up to LW and give him as much watch time as you can, because we need his watch hours and his his subs up.
Yeah, we do need more people subbed up over there on LW.
Appreciate that, you guys.
Well, you know, that's all we work together. That's the thing.
Right.
You know, a lot of people on YouTube, they're all about themselves, not us over here. We don't really give a damn about ourselves.
Well, and it ain't I mean, we couldn't have grown if some people didn't help us out. So you got to help out.
Right. But I do believe that Hitler escaped and went to Argentina. I do believe that. I don't think.
I wrote it down for a future show.
Yeah, that's definitely a whole show we need to do about that. I do believe that. Now we do in the chat. I do see that we have a flat earther in the chat. What's up, Rec Talk? Good to see you. You know how those Georgia Tech people are. And hey, Anasty, good to see you too. Timber, good to see you too, brother. Yeah, so yeah, the Hitler thing, that's pretty cool. The Admiral Byrd thing, he calls me a globetrot. That's my saying, Rec Talk. That's my saying, brother. You know about those people that can't, that don't know how to change a tire. So, yeah, you know.
What's wrong with that?
Now you've looked in, I'm sure there, Dingo, you've looked in quite a bit to the whole Admiral Byrd thing. You got anything you want to touch on that?
Honestly, that would take a couple of hours.
A lot of people might not know. I mean, you got like a summary there you could run through.
Sure. Admiral Byrd, very respected. I'd call him a war hero through World War II. After the end of the war, if I'm correct, I believe it was the president, because they didn't have a Secretary of Defense at the time, pretty much had him, put together the whole fleet and head down to Antarctica. It was their mission, as it states, was to see if the Germans are making camp there, if they're expanding. And because it was obvious Germany was already exploring certain regions of the world as well as down there. But then it goes off on left field there a little bit with some of his claims that he did through interviews until they eventually told him to be quiet.
And what did he supposedly find there?
Well,
Or is
supposedly,
that
supposedly aircraft that can travel from poles to poles in seconds. Everything he's pretty much describing what we would call, UAPs, UFOs, flying saucers, I guess. I don't know if they were actually saucers, but they seem to have a little bit of an ordeal with them, I guess. I'm not sure if there was any type of hostile action, but the way they described it, it definitely wasn't friendly.
right? And I agree with what Trip. I just brought this comment up. I agree with that. The UFO entities are in the ocean. I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were going to hide somewhere, wouldn't you pick like, the 70% of Earth that we know nothing about?
Uh,
I mean, we know more about space than we do the ocean.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, that's interesting. What was the other one? I saw something. Shit, my mind's slipping on me. I had something. I was going to hit another topic there. Oh no. Wait a minute, Gutters, you still with us?
Yep.
What do you think about that?
I think it's absolutely bizarre. But I don't know. I think I start going too far. You guys get me going, and then you're like, no, you think way too much that way. So I'm always worried about the shit I think, because
Well, you're allowed to be crazy here. That's the point of the show. Is
I know, but
you're allowed to be a lunatic. Hey, what's up, Audio Authority? Audio Authority. How about the theory that the pyramids of Giza were built with acoustic chambers designed to manipulate sound? That's pretty cool. Okay, here we go. The pyramids. So what about those new chambers underneath in those towers? I haven't dove into that one too much yet, but Dingo, have you looked into that?
Not a whole lot, no more than anybody else. I was just waiting to see if they were going to release more information about it.
Because you have some people saying, yeah, definitely, and you always have the people on both sides, saying that. But I mean, that's definitely interesting. There is something under there, but I don't necessarily know. Because I've always looked at the pyramids. Like, do you believe that it's hard to imagine that those like megalithic structures and things like that, not necessarily the pyramids, but any of those structures were built like they try to convince you that, these rocks that are, way it would take right now, it's almost impossible to do. It's not impossible, but it's almost impossible to do now with the technology that we have. And they're like, no, they floated those down the Nile River, or they carry, like those came from like hundreds of miles away. How is that possible?
I know. And lifting them, come on.
Well, the truth is there's more questions than answers. Why are the pyramids in Mexico and the pyramids in Indonesia and other parts of the world have so many similarities to the pyramids in Egypt? Mm-hmm. And this doesn't really, I can't say fact on this or that. All I can say is, as far as me as a believer, I just can't be convinced that it was the Egyptians that built the pyramids. And I believe with what they've discovered underground that's attached to the pyramids, you're going to have to look much further back.
Yeah, I think that's what Rec Talk is talking about, right? The sonographic data.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's the new thing. So they don't know circumstantial evidence exactly. They don't really know, and there's like these scientists say this, the other scientists say that. Joe Rogan had the people on there. I like when Joe Rogan he gets Jimmy Corsetti on there and Graham Hancock, and in that, I don't know if y'all watch these things, but that Flint Dibble or whatever, Flint Dibble, he blocked me on X like almost instantly for trolling him. But that guy, he's like the most dishonest thing. A lot of these mainstream scientists, it's like, this is what it is, and you can't do it. Science should be like an ever-changing thing. If you learn something new, you should be able to move forward with it. Not just like, this is the way it is because this is what we were taught and you're not allowed to change it. I hate that.
Well, they don't like to rewrite the books.
Well, they don't like to be proven wrong,
Yeah, they don't get it wrong either.
which it shouldn't hurt their ego. It's just people have expanded upon it and
Well, they
found
actually
more
did.
information.
They actually did do that sometimes. Like, you know, with COVID, they changed that shit all the way around. No mask work. Everybody's got to wear one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just depends on what it, you know, what's beneficial to the, you know, the powers that
Fool.
be.
Yes.
I got a quick question. You said someone blocked you on X. Didn't Rosie O'Donnell block you on X?
Yes, Rosie O'Donnell did block me on X, and her daughter cussed me out too. So
That's right.
You dick.
well, it was when she was. It's like that one time she made that post something where she was sitting on a boat right out there looking at Mar-a-Lago, and she was like making fun of it and doing all this. And she had her picture. She was like in the water or something. And I don't remember what I did. She was like floating in the water at the side of her boat or something. And her daughter was sitting there as well. So I ended up changing and putting her head on a whale and like making it like float. Like it was just cheesy, funny. You know what I mean? That wasn't really big. And I guess it hit her hard. She got all mad and her daughter got all pissed off and cussed me out in the thing. And she blocked me. Yeah, it was funny.
How dare you?
These people are sensitive. I mean, if you're going to be on social media like that, you got to have a little bit of thick skin. People are going to fuck with you. It's going to happen.
And if you're going to be some type of a public figure, you better be able to handle it, even if you're fat. I mean, it's going to be, you're going to be out there.
Yeah, only Rosie O'Donnell.
I've recently got blocked by Jordan Peterson, his daughter, and Mark Levin. So those are the only trophies I have recently.
Mark Levin blocked you?
Yeah. I may have violated TOS.
How do you get blocked by Mark Levin?
I don't know. He goes and he clicks the block button.
Mr. Producer. Because you will never be Mr. Producer now.
No, I'm out of the club for sure.
I know that I've probably, if Zuckerberg actually looked at his messages, which I'm sure he'd block me for certain. He'd probably press charges on me.
What are you doing? You're like trolling Mark Zuckerberg?
Oh, when he'd piss me off when they'd take one of my posts down or something during COVID or any of that.
Oh, with the
It pissed me off, and I'd message him and tell him what a dick he was and how, you know,
like
why
you
are you
would like
here?
slide into Zuckerberg's DMs?
Uh-huh.
Does he have this open?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I went to it and messaged him, but he never
be a-
messaged me back. He never said okay. He never said screw you, nothing.
The audio authority, yes, people still do. Only boomers, though.
You know what? Audio authority.
What a funny thought of
I
Mark
probably have
Zuckerberg.
better audio than you do, so you just hush it. See, I am an audio snob. So, now.
Be careful, gutters.
I love
Oh,
that
yeah?
thought of Mark Zuckerberg sitting on his yacht.
Reading my
Using his
messages.
phone. It's like, who's this bitch Gutters pub talking shit?
I wonder if I can see him.
I'm sure he reads all 10 trillion messages he gets.
Let me see.
Right. Now, only gutters. Only gutters. messages.
Well, Zuckerberg's another one of those that's building an underground facility on Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's already built.
Yeah.
Well, wait,
Wasn't
so
he-
he's building one?
Yeah, he was talking about it like on a podcast. Like, yeah, he has a big ass bunker.
I believe
Really?
so.
Why don't we get a bunker? I'd like to have a bunker.
Well, I'll pick up some plywood from Home Depot tomorrow and head over.
Okay, we can grab some duct tape and aluminum foil. We can build one of those lunar modules as well.
There you go. So you want me to get some tinfoil?
Yes, please. That would be awesome.
All right.
Don't forget the flex tape.
Yeah, that stupid thing. Yeah, I shot a wreck over the link there. He just texted me. Yeah, that one. Oh, I know what I was hitting on. The moon. We were talking about the moon earlier. So I remember my mind finally caught back up with myself. You ever look into like all that stuff about the moon being hollow and that Dingo?
Oh yes. Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
Well, from the test they ran, it seems like it's hollow, but it'd be great if they do end up getting to the moon and doing some tests, because that doesn't make any sense.
Mm-mm. And what is the thing? It's like the deeper you go, what is it? The younger the rocks and everything are, the deeper you go, or something. Isn't it something weird like that?
Yeah, I was watching on one of these shows, so I decided to start digging into it myself, and it's true. The older soil is on the top, and the deeper you go as they dig, it actually becomes more newer soil. So, also look at the craters. They don't ever exceed further than a certain level. But I guess supposedly they've done some testing, and sure enough, the moon, it rings like a bell from what they say.
Yeah, for like minutes on end.
Yeah. But if we were able to get on the moon and set up certain, things like what we use for earthquakes and other things like that, we would be able to test it to actually see a little further. So it'd be interesting. I'm just saying, as the technology advances and we eventually work our way there, I'd be real curious about some of these answers.
Well, I've seen people who are experts in that stuff. When they say, I've seen a few of them, Fools and I have talked about this too. They'll say, I wanted to look at this conspiracy theory of it being hollow. And they dug deeper and deeper and deeper. They said they still don't believe that, but they learn more and more about the moon they never knew. And their conclusion is the moon is weird.
Great answer.
The moon is weird. Yeah, there's a lot of like things about the moon that don't make sense. So, that's always a lot about it doesn't make sense. But, we'll see. I don't know. In a lot of civilizations, they talk about the time before the moon, and things like that, which is very interesting as well. And, all that does date back to that like 12,000 Younger Dryas period before. So, there's a lot of cool things to look at there. And, a lot of people think the moon was brought here, but could it have just been that the moon, that happened and they couldn't see it because, the moon controls the tide. So a lot of people, they sit there and they have that theory that it used to be so much water in the atmosphere that, when the moon came and controlled it, that changed the gravity and that water fell to the earth. That caused, and I'm not saying I believe this, but this is just a theory out there. Anything being said here, people don't think that we necessarily believe everything. We're just talking conspiracies. But yeah, a lot of people look at it like that. And then other people say, well, maybe it was just, natural thing and they couldn't see the moon because it was so cloudy. A million different theories on that. Rec Talk, how you doing?
Good. Yeah. Sorry. For some reason, I couldn't hear earlier. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. StreamYard's acting really weird tonight. I don't know what the deal is. It's like lagging and stuff. Doing good. So what do you think? We were having this conversation earlier. Do you believe we went to the moon and they landed that lunar thing on the moon?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% I do.
100%.
Well, not 100. I mean, nothing's 100%. I'm pretty confident we did.
Okay. So, I mean, you really think that this thing landed on the moon?
I mean, we were able to do a lot with a little, man. First of all, I mean, you're kind of making fun of it, but yeah, I do.
You do? You're trolling us, aren't you?
No, I mean, the minority position would be that we didn't land on the moon.
Well, yeah, that's obviously the minority. But, I mean,
So because the majority believes that,
No, but you're acting like I'm insane.
well,
No,
you
And I'm saying, well, you're
no, you said that.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Is a couple months ago, I would be exactly the same way he's saying it. You couldn't convince me otherwise. I would just think it's some conspiracy that can't be proven. But then I started reading more and more into it, and it didn't make sense to me, and it just convinced me that we couldn't have possibly done it. But
Sure, that
that's
actually.
that's up to everybody to make their own determination.
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't. It's not like I've really looked into this or have some strong opinion on it.
Yeah, and I have to say that before I looked into it, I thought it was real. So, I mean,
and
I
it
guess-
very well may be. I mean, I have trouble believing it. Outpost Nerd says his friend's grandfather built that. I mean, he did a good job. I mean, it looks good. But no, I mean, that's super cool for your friend's grandfather, though. I don't want to take away from that
did
either.
you kids weren't allowed to make posters that year, were you?
Right. Outpost Nerd, is your friend's grandfather still alive? I'd like to know that. Well, no, I just like to know because that would be interesting. I mean, God, if you ever talk to him, that would be cool.
I remember in the 90s, Fox came out with that that show about the conspiracy about it. And this is like, what, 98 or 99? And we came into the office and everybody watched it the night before on Fox. And we were talking about it. And this lady was sitting at her desk right behind us and she was doing the bookkeeping. And she turned around, she had her glasses at the tip of her nose, and she turned around, she was like, I dated a guy. He told me he painted the set of that. And she turned around and went back to work.
I actually have a Life magazine in my hand. I'll turn my camera on from 1969.
Oops.
Yes,
Did
he's.
he
I
leave?
don't know. No, he's back now. There we go. What happened there, Rick? Oh, now he's gone again. Let's see. We'll bring him back.
Won't let me use my camera, but oh well, don't worry about it.
Yeah, StreamYard's acting up tonight. It's doing something weird. Because I like you even see the little ticker across the bottoms, like lagging. Like if you try to share something to it, it's like
because you're
lagging.
telling the truth and they're trying to.
Oh, there we go. We might be on to something now. Let's do this. Try it now and see what it does.
I think it's going to keep. Hold on. I think I know why. I think more than one thing is trying to use my camera. That is why. Let's see now. Yeah. See? Life magazine.
Ta-da. No, we can't see it.
1969.
And now we can't see it all. It's just,
Oh, I can see it. That's weird. Yeah, StreamYard is acting up.
yeah,
They don't want the
could you all see him?
Mm-mm.
No,
Yeah,
it was all black.
Yeah.
Wow. Do 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 do.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Scott Controversial Cruising says his stream was like that too tonight. Yeah, it's I don't know, doing weird. Like if you share anything or do anything at all, it's like like the little scroller on the bottom is like choppy and all kinds of stuff. So good. I'm glad, Scott, that yours was doing it too. So I mean, at least we know it's
let
not
me ask you
your
this.
computer, my computer. What
Do
you
you-
got, Rick?
Let's just say you're right, and that we did land on the moon. Do you think we have the capability today to land on the moon or leave Earth's orbit?
Well, Elon Musk state that we can't possibly do it because of the radiation belt.
Well, then why was he pushing for us to go to Mars?
Well, they're still working on that radiation belt.
I mean,
the last-
radiation is a problem. Yeah.
The last video I've seen from a NASA guy, maybe they've changed it, but it wasn't too long ago. He's bald and has glasses. He said, we lost the technology and we're trying to build it back up.
We lost it. So is the ISS That is that fake?
To go to the moon. I'm talking about the moon. You're talking about the ISS.
Well, I said to go to the moon
I didn't
or
say-
just leave orbit. I guess the ISS is in orbit. Okay.
Yeah, the
Right.
ISS is hardly even in space. I mean, this is right there on a bar. I
that-
mean,
they
you
would
can see it with
still-
binoculars.
You'd still have a radiation problem there. Like once you get out of the atmosphere, you run into issues, right?
Well, the radiation belt is much further out, and it's very dense. It will literally kill any human or any living life form going through it.
Let me look at that. I've not heard of this, but I am interested.
Yeah. But it
me
is
see
much
if I can-
further out.
It's called the Van Ryan belt.
That is it. Van Ryan belt.
Van Allen.
Van Allen. Yeah, Van Allen. Sorry, Van Ryan, Van Allen. Same thing. That's his cousin.
Van Halen. It's a
Yeah, the
The
Van Halen belt. It's called the Van Halen belt. You know,
Okay, high energy charged particles, primarily electrons and protons, are trapped by Earth's magnetic field. Well, Earth's magnetic field's pretty weak, though.
Well, the Van Allen belt is like 400 miles from Earth. I mean, the ISS isn't 400 miles above Earth, is it?
oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, so I didn't understand. When you said belt, I'm thinking of like Oort cloud or something. I was thinking way far away from Earth. Okay, I'm getting it better now.
So AI says the reason we ain't going to the moon is because we can't afford it.
Yeah, we're too
Well,
busy
that
building
too.
bunkers.
That too.
We're busy with a dome. Hold, please.
At least
$1 trillion.
AI is honest.
$1 trillion in military spending, but we don't have enough money.
Hmm.
But we
But-
had it in 1969, you know, when
Yeah.
we landed that.
Since
That thing on the moon.
1972, there's been budget constraints, shifting priorities, and the high cost of Apollo missions.
So it must be super high energy if it prevents you from leaving. I mean, we're just talking electrons and protons. You would think just lead would be enough. This isn't gamma radiation, right?
I'm trying to find this video of the NASA guy saying it.
Well, it should be really intense neutron radiation.
Okay, so that's what you would get from a nuclear reactor, like fast neutrons.
Neutron's more oriented with space. You got alpha, beta, neutron, and gamma. Those are the four radiations. I'm kind of giving away what I did in the military. But anyways, yeah, gamma is more focused with, I guess, plutonium, yellow cake, stuff like that.
So, okay, Rec, let me ask you this. I don't know if you tuned in. I did want to say hey to McLovin that was in here earlier. Good to see you, McLovin. And we are going to drop the link if people want to come up here and give us their thoughts here in a minute. So, we will drop the link and let people come up. But what do you think about them saying, Rec, that all the original footage, NASA lost all the original footage from the moon landings? And they don't know where it went, and they think they recorded over it, is what their excuse is.
So I haven't heard that.
That's they really say that.
No, I'm not doubting it. I'm just not aware of it. That's super suspicious. I mean, I'll say that. Like, yeah, it's super suspicious.
I say they recorded the last episode of Dallas on the videotapes, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're saying this is supposed to be like NASA would be considered like one of the most technologically cutting edge institutions, right? You're telling me that they don't have an extra storage space?
No, they
Yeah.
said they do not know what happened to it, and they think that it got recorded over. And like I was saying, I don't think you were tuned in when we were talking about that earlier, but that like that's like the most remarkable thing mankind could have ever done was landed on the moon, especially in 1969. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they went like, oopsie, like, LW just said that, they recorded that and they still don't know who shot JR. And they got the tape
Look,
there.
And come on, 6 times in 3 years or whatever, 4 years they landed.
Yeah,
on the
and they
moon.
supposedly
But they can't
went
do it now again.
6 times they say they went.
6.
So is just the footage from the first moon landing lost, or like Apollo 13, or like is all of the moon footage from that time period recorded?
I don't know. How often have you ever seen it? I mean, isn't that like the most fascinating thing in the world? And the only thing they've ever showed us was those one pictures that we ever see.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not super versed in this, but yeah, I mean, that's weird. I mean,
Right. That's what I'm not saying we didn't. And, because I mean, I come from like a family of, aviation pioneers and, doing all this. I've always been fascinated with all this stuff. And growing up, it was like all I ever, thought about was, space and doing. And then, as you got older and started looking at some of this stuff, it's like, what the heck's going on? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, losing the footage is like, why? I can't. How could you believe that? I mean, that's kind of like something happens with a police altercation, and then the police lose the body cam footage. And it's like, okay, well, that's why. Come on now, what's going on with that? It's same. It sounds like the same thing to me. It implies you're hiding something.
Well, right. I mean, and as many people have sat there and said, like, if the police said we lost the body cam footage, you would be like, bullshit, you're hiding something.
100%.
If NASA says, oh, oopsie, we lost all that original footage, all you have to go by is what is out there. And we don't know what happened to it. We have no idea. This is what it is. Then, and you're just supposed to believe it,
Hey,
Yeah,
fools,
no.
I'm having a little trouble. Can you pull that up and I'll just tell me when you're ready for me to hit play?
Yeah, is it acting up for you too?
Yeah, it's just a short video. It might not even pull up when you do it. I don't know.
Is StreamYard acting weird for you too?
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's see. All right, I pulled it up. There it is.
but it won't let me. Is it ready to play?
I mean, whenever you hit play, make sure.
Read
Yeah.
between the lines. Take a listen.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. But going to Mars should be one of the next series of steps that humans do. The first step should be going back to the moon for a number of technical reasons and exploration reasons, and then after that, Mars, maybe high orbit in Venus atmosphere, maybe going to Europa. There's all kinds of targets to go to, places of interest in our solar system.
I vote Europa.
Check Europa.
Yeah, if
Oh,
I'm not mistaken,
killed it on me.
That's a moon of. Is it a moon of Jupiter that has water on it? Like our ice caps under it that might have life.
Is that Ganymede or?
Huh?
Isn't that called? Is it Ganymede? Isn't that the name of the moon, or are you talking about Europa?
I'm talking about Europa. I could be wrong. I know that there's
Ganymede.
one moon that's pretty sure has ice on it. That would be cool to look at. But it doesn't really make sense. He's saying, so we destroyed the technology to go to the moon, but we need to go to Mars.
Yeah,
Right.
Europa does surface. I guess it says something about Europa. See, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, it'd just be cool to go out there and look. But I have heard before the show of having significant radiation issues going to somewhere like Mars.
Well, you could imagine. I mean, you're floating out through space. I don't know. And like I said, I'm not saying that we didn't do this, but it's very suspect. Like when they start doing these things, saying we lost the footage, we lost the technology, we lost the. How do you lose all this? It's like your car keys. You're that fumbling broad that's like losing your car keys every 2 seconds. Gutters.
I do not lose my car keys. Thank you very much.
I bet Gutters has one of those things that you push the button and to find your car keys, but she always
do not.
loses the thing that to push the button on.
No, I do not. But you know what? You know what the kids bought Marvin? Actually, Matthew bought it for him. He bought him the what the air tags that you can put on your key. You know, you can put them on whatever so you don't lose it. Yeah, he got them for Marvin because he kept losing his keys. Huh. Not me.
What do you think, Dingo?
Oh, what's that?
I don't know. Like just with the whole losing. I mean, I just feel, you know. You got anything to say about that?
We're still talking about space.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, not Gutter's car keys.
oh, okay. Well, I was just going to give an opinion about it. I was going to say, did you check beside the bed? Well, honestly, when it comes to space, I mean, you know, one of the things I think of, and this ties back into that U.S. patent on that military aircraft, Ben Rich. Are you familiar with Ben Rich, Lockheed Martin Skunk Works?
No.
Former CEO. Well, I can't remember exactly what year he did it, but he went to kind of a conference at UCLA. I'm not sure if he's an alum there or something, or just showing up as a guest speaker. But he seems to be pretty sure of himself. But anyways, he made the comment. Let's see. I'm trying to look for it real quick. We already have the means to travel among the stars. Let's see. Also, another thing, we have the ability to bring ET home. And this was back in the 90s. Now, this is a person who's CEO of Lockheed Martin Skunk Works. You know, he's also explaining that we'll never see this technology because it's locked up in black projects.
Yeah, it's also cost prohibitive. I mean, that's kind of why you need a NASA. Like a company like Lockheed that is profit driven is never going to take a gamble on something that doesn't have a clear payout.
Well, I want to know is why would they hide it in the black projects?
I don't know. Probably because they don't have white projects.
Oh, damn.
Oh, my bad.
Zing.
Bad jokes, folks. Bad jokes.
Bad jokes. I'm sorry.
Canceled. Done.
Canceled. Done. Grand opening, grand closing. Sorry that joke walked into it.
Burn it to the ground.
Right. But I
My
mean,
fault.
Rec, you can see that though why people would question these things.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just, for me, it doesn't really affect my life. So I just haven't had a reason to look into it. But yeah, there's a ton of suspicious stuff. And look, I don't trust most of what the government says, right? Like, I'm not one of these that's just like, oh yeah, everything the government says is great. And there's not a conflict that we've gotten into post World War II that we didn't lie to get into it.
100%.
I don't believe it most of the time.
Now, is there anything that conspiracy besides like the war stuff, but anything that does interest you or that you have looked into?
JFK assassination. I think that at least 50-50 on people saying that's bullshit, like the narrative. And I don't buy the narrative at all on JFK.
So you don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald, when it did
was a
that
lone actor,
was a lone guy?
No, just simple physics shows you that the bullet cannot travel to the trajectory that they say it did.
Do you believe it was the driver?
I don't know who it was. Obviously, JFK had mafia affiliations, like that whole Teamster and Hoffa thing. I don't know who did it. What I do know is that what they say happened. Not only did it not happen, it's not possible that it happened that way. And then Jack Ruby shoots the guy, and now he can't testify to anything. Like, this is very suspicious. One that's even older that I don't think is talked about a lot is John Wilkes Booth.
That's an interesting one there too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, if you haven't looked into that, man, that's fascinating. Like, his autopsy photos were disappeared. You keep seeing this theme, right? Like, oh yeah, the thing that could confirm or falsify this, don't know where it is anymore. It's just wild.
Right, exactly. Oopsie, we lost it again. It's like everything the government touches, they lose except for your tax records.
Oh yeah, the IRS doesn't lose shit though,
And your
Yeah,
bank
maybe they need to put
account.
them in charge.
unless it has to do with the Pentagon. Then they can't account for trillions of dollars that they've spent.
Right.
Yeah, did you know that Jack Ruby? So here's an interesting trivia thing. That is the first assassination ever caught on live television.
Yeah.
JFK was caught on. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it wasn't live. That was pre-recorded. That was being
Oh.
recorded. It wasn't being. It
Yeah,
wasn't being put out live.
Yeah, the
Well,
Zapruder
that's
film
what
did.
Trump done, yeah.
The Zapruder film didn't come out till like 13 years later on the Geraldo Rivera show.
Oh, good old
Believe it or not.
Geraldo. That's
He's
not
been-
a conspiracy, but if you haven't seen Geraldo interview Charles Manson, you need to go watch that because Manson eats him alive, and it's wild. I think Geraldo ends up throwing a chair at him.
I remember that. It broke. No, remember Geraldo? Somebody threw a chair at Geraldo and it broke his nose.
That was it. He's bleeding, and they're like, "We got to cut."
Yeah.
To go.
I remember watching live and like the whole build up to it. Remember when
Uh-huh.
Geraldo was going to open Al Capone's vault?
Uh-huh.
And it was like everything about everything was talking about Geraldo going to open up Al Capone's vault,
Mhm.
and it like led up to it. It was like the TV commercials they were pumping, and he opened it up. There was like some empty wine bottles in there.
Yeah, he
It's not
everybody watched him for a while and then he started doing shit like that and they're like, okay, we're done with you.
like- yeah, good old Geraldo. Is he alive still? Is he even alive?
Oh yeah,
What's he doing now?
Oh, you know,
I don't know.
Fox News.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's jumping up, arguing with people on Fox News. Remember when he was like, kind of like the Anthony Weiner kind of thing, like sending all the weird pictures and stuff to people, and it came out that he'd been like with his shirt off. I don't think he quite went, the D pics or nothing like that, but he there was those pictures of him like doing the selfies with his shirt off and stuff.
Geraldo or the Wiener guy?
Geraldo with like the mirror selfies.
Oh, he's like having like a way past midlife crisis, and he needs to validate himself.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
He's 81, by the way.
Wow, Geraldo's 81 years old.
Yeah, born
Really?
in 43. He was born on July 4th. He's about to be 82.
That's
Wow.
wild. I never knew he threw a chair at Charles.
I was wrong, I
Yeah.
guess. Someone threw a chair at him.
Oh,
I remember
it
a
was.
chair got thrown.
I was trying to find a video on it.
Good luck sharing it because StreamYard is absolutely crapping out tonight.
By
yeah,
the way,
I was trying to hit add to stage, and it didn't do anything on that video earlier.
it's not a conspiracy theory, but have you seen Dr. Phil trying to reinvent himself as like a reporter? Like
No.
he goes to the ice raids to like report on it, and then the guy's like, "Holy shit, Dr. Phil!" And Dr. Phil's like, "How do you know who I am?" Oh, you're Dr. Phil, dude. What are you doing?
You're only on all over TV and YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh, I found it.
you only prophetize people suffering for 20 years. I mean, come on.
The only thing I ever think of when I think of Dr. Phil, remember that girl that was on there with the whole, you don't know me? You don't know me? Like that. I don't remember who she was. That's all I ever think of when I think of Dr. Phil.
Is that
'Cause I
the
couldn't
outside
stand it.
girl?
Yeah.
So you're saying what you're saying is you don't give a fuck what people say.
You're pretty good at that, dude.
I know, Rick. That's how you've practiced this. You've practiced
My
this.
impressions are pretty good. Dr. Phil's similar to Mackie from South Park. Those are kind of hard to separate.
Or Hank Hill.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
He's got that Texas flair in it.
Can you see that, Bull?
Yeah, okay. Here, I'll bring it up right now. What you got? You have to unmute it, Gutters.
Shut.
Trying to be a white.
Go ahead, Troy.
Here we go.
There's Geraldo.
He got hit with the chair.
I'm good. Yeah, sit down, guys. Got out of hand.
You broke my nose. Sit down.
Didn't Rodney King say, "Can't we all just get along"?
Look at Geraldo. You can only imagine his nose getting bigger.
Yeah, that's wild.
All right, I'm gonna pull this down.
Okay.
Who would have thought
Yeah.
putting racist with the people they hate would go so poorly?
No,
I know.
I never would have thunk it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
That
there was trash
also
TV.
the slowest joke I've ever seen. Like, it took so long for him to choke that guy.
Yeah, there was trash TV before old Jerry Springer. I think even if I remember correctly, didn't Oprah used to do trash TV before she got all
Yes.
serious?
Did she? I don't know.
And remember Sally Jesse Raphael? Eyeglasses like hers.
You
Those
had glasses like
red-rimmed
Sally
ones.
Jesse.
Sally Jesse Raphael, don't you remember? She had the big red.
Oh
Rim.
yeah, You actually
called-
had those.
Yeah, and I also had a pair of blue ones, just like those ones too.
Now
And
I have
called
to
them
ask:
Mhm.
did you wear them to your glamour shots?
No, maybe I could have.
Man,
I don't know how many times Dingo up there. I don't know how many times I've actually gone and like signed him up for glamour shots in the back. I still get mail to this day from things like Hover Round and all this crap because of you.
And let's don't forget Cat Facts.
Yeah, Cat Facts. That was the best. Oh my God, that was. Do y'all remember Cat Facts?
no.
You could go in there and they charge money for it now, but it used to be you could sign up for Cat Facts, and they would call you and what was it, text message you like 2 Cat Facts a day, and
Until you tried to click stop, and then they say, "Thank you for signing up for more Cat Facts."
right, so it was like the ultimate troll. You would get like your phone. Did you know that a calico cat is about to have a pig? It's like, what? I don't want this. It was absolutely horrible. And it would go on and you couldn't make it stop. Now it actually charges you money because I went on there not too long ago and tried to sign somebody up for it. And they wanted me to like pay $1 or something. I'm like, I'm not paying $1 to send it. But all you had to do was put somebody else's number in there and they were getting Cat Facts.
Old school trolling.
Oh,
was
yeah.
Premium. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
And look, old school Dr. Phil was great, man. Like, I got to go back and watch some Dr. Phil because his advice, what she was saying when she was sucking his dick was you weren't paying enough attention to her. What are you talking about? That's usually a relationship ender, sir. There it is for me.
Yeah, Dr. Phil. He definitely he's so boring.
Well, remember when he had, who was the girl that was on The Shining? Something Duvall?
Yeah, Shelley Duvall. Yeah.
He exploited her. Like, he has her on his show. She's clearly eat up with mental illness in a horrible way. And he's like, so, are the aliens with us right now, Shelley? What are you doing? Why is she on TV with you right now? Like, you're a piece of shit, man. I mean, he kind of looks like an alien, but Dr. Phil, another ops. Yeah, he's a CIA plant, I think, Dr. Phil, to make everyone dumber collectively.
It's possible.
Well, he definitely did a flip flop here from going to Oprah's way of thinking of stuff to waking up
bully?
to supposedly reality. But
Yeah, I mean, how many times do you say, no, I'm a pretty big boy. I'm about 6'4", okay? What? So you're a therapist? You're going to beat the shit out of this guy?
Can you please?
Too much.
Can you please? Because you're a reasonably tall guy and kind of built a
Handsome.
little bit like
Yeah.
Dr. Phil. You should dress
Okay.
up as him for Halloween.
Well, I should do a character. I should implement that character. I don't know how I would do it for what my channel is, but it's probably a missed opportunity if I don't. I will dress up.
you should
for him
do
as
some
Halloween.
voiceovers for certain.
Yeah,
Y'all should y'all should check out Adam Ray. It's a comedian who does Dr. Phil. He dresses up like Dr. Phil. And on his Netflix special, he actually had Dr. Phil as a guest. It was him as Dr. Phil interviewing Dr. Phil. It was pretty funny.
Are you
I
going
think I
to
saw
Slav?
that.
Are you going to Slav Olympics? Are you going?
Yeah, I went last year. I'll definitely go this year. Yeah,
Oh,
we
well,
kinda
you should
crossed over.
definitely dress up as Phil. Hello.
We
Did you
glossed
know?
over
I didn't
what
know
felt
this.
like
Dr. Phil played college football at the University of Tulsa.
Really?
Let's go look this up. Let's go look up Dr. Phil.
Yeah, I see.
But
Dr.
from here
Phil.
on out, you pretty much should need to talk like he does.
Yeah, you should just always talk like Dr.
Yeah.
Phil.
Oh,
You
you
should-
Midwestern State University. It's pretty elite.
You should interview all the slobs and record it as Dr.
I should do
Phil,
College
for sure.
Football Weekly as Dr. Phil.
Well, you should just from. I
That-
mean,
that's
from
what I was about
here
to
on
say,
out,
that-
like your whole YouTube career should just be with the Dr.
Spitting on
Phil
Dr.
voice.
Phil. That's better than what I usually do.
Well, you know, I was about to bring that up. You were talking about doing the College Football Weekly show that you're doing with Lou, you know, all those. You should be Dr. Phil in the middle of that. Imagine that. I mean, if you could get, you know, Lou going, "You don't know me."
Okay, calm down, Lou. Okay, that's
Oh my God, that'd be so
your own
perfect.
issues with me. Okay, and you're gonna need to calm. I'm a pretty big boy, first of all. Okay. Where did he? I can't see that he played. Let's see, early life and education. Played linebacker on the high school football team, and in '68 earned a scholarship to the University of Tulsa, where he played under Coach Glenn Dobbs.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean he is like 6'4".
Hey, big guy. I bet he could be
Big
a
guy.
linebacker. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, dude,
6'4",
his
big
head
guy.
is- my God, they
Well-
could use his bald head to fake a moon landing on.
They probably
They could.
did.
That might.
They
How
probably-
old is he? He's 74, so he was
That's probably
16
why it. Yeah.
and 66
wow.
Oh, 69 though.
or 69. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Lamau.
would have been just perfect. 19 years old.
Mitt, it depends
We
on what
cracked
you're
it.
willing to admit, whether you think you're at the right place or not.
What's up, Mitt? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Mitt.
Let's see. I know he was like, yeah, controversy and lawsuits. He really liked to get handsy with the ladies. I think got sued for that.
Who did?
Phil.
Really? I
Yeah,
think his wife would have sued him.
this was before they got married.
I-
I don't know. He can't do College Football Weekly as Dr. Phil. We already have Paul
Oh,
Fine.
you mean he was handsy as a young guy, like single?
I think if I remember right, he had a practice and like a secretary, and she had accused him of doing some stuff. Like she didn't accuse him of like assaulting or anything, but just making her really uncomfortable and like threatening to stymie her career if she wasn't friendly to him. But I could be wrong, but I feel like
So she didn't want to get on the casting couch. Is one of those things.
the white couch, baby. Bring in the white couch.
Yeah, I heard somebody say something funny earlier, and not to like poke fun at any kind of weird stuff like that. But what's the guy's name? I can't think of his name now. The movie producer
Weinstein.
Harvey
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Yeah, somebody said, "Have you noticed there hasn't been a damn movie worth of fuck since Harvey Weinstein went to prison?"
You gotta choose.
That is accurate as hell.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's true. I mean, it's like damn.
Yeah, we might need to reconsider. Does anyone even go to the movie theaters anymore? Like, when was the last time you went to the movie theater?
Last time I went to the movies was during COVID. It was awesome. You could go and they were playing old movies.
So you're a
And-
killer.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's grandma, watch out. I'm coming for you. No mask, no nothing. Yeah, but our movie theater never closed. So, but there was no new movies, so they were playing old movies, and it was really cool. It was like watching. What did I watch? Like Gone with the Wind, I think, and watching. There was a few. I went a bunch of times, and it was all these old movies that I had seen years, but I'd never seen them on the big screen. So it was really cool.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. The one closed down over here in Cobb County. That's by where I live. They just shut the doors.
My kids always went, and they still go, but I don't go because it's always 40 below in there, and your ears pretty much are ringing by the time you get out of there.
Boomer.
It's just too
Boomer.
loud.
Boomer.
Too fucking loud.
It's so cold in here. He had to show up with her.
Like
Why
about,
are the M&M's $6? What?
no, wait, right. When I about 10 years,
She's got her throw. Coming
actually it was about
her
15.
snuggie. She's coming there with a snuggie.
Well, they have the theaters now that you can take your blankets in and chill out, and oh yeah, they got nice comfy
Those
spots.
those are called nursing homes.
Nursing homes. No, it's red. No, it's not.
You got to be careful, man. Sea Dog used the term boomer on my channel, and I got like a 1,000-word email from a guy livid with me for not like banning him for that.
He didn't have to worry about that with me. Right? Nobody knows 1,000-word email.
Look at this. We got KJ in the comments. Out there vacationing and still taking the time. She can't be on panel tonight with us, our normal beautiful co-host there, KJ, but she's on vacation out here. Come on, preach on TF. Good to see you, KJ. Hope your vacation is going wonderful.
What's up,
Yeah,
KJ?
I know this is about conspiracy, so I'm looking up just popular conspiracies. What is this? Denver International Airport is the Illuminati headquartter.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Any of y'all know anything about that?
Dingo, you want to take this one?
Well, I've been out there a number of times, but usually when I go out there for work, I'm just staying on the outskirts over there by the Space Force base. But yeah, they've got a lot of questionable stuff in there, at least they used to. And I've seen people post online through kind of the tunnels underneath and so forth. But the only thing that I know for a fact is, yeah, there is tunnels underneath, but it's more preparation for bad weather to transport from one end to the other. But it's one of those things that you can't prove unless you're in the know to be able to provide the proper documents.
Deep state. So, have you ever been to Fort Carson here in Colorado?
No, I've never been inside Fort Carson.
Okay.
Now, what about those weirdo murals in the airport? Did you see
Oh,
those,
it's
Dingo?
interesting. Yeah.
What-
A couple times whenever I flew in, you could see them. Also, when you're driving up, you got that, what do they call that horse? It's a stallion out there with like red eyes or something. But, it's got a lot of things that, it just makes you ask questions.
So that one's interesting. I also see Prince Charles is actually a vampire.
Oh, actually, he's related to, what
Vlad
is
the
it?
Impaler,
Yeah, Vlad the Impaler, so they say.
the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bigfoot is real. Is Bigfoot real, fools?
Man, oh God, I love Bigfoot. But oh my God, no, don't make me say it. But yeah, I can't. I don't want to say no.
Well, I mean, Mitch Hedgeberg said maybe Bigfoot is just blurry. No one put that out there.
Yeah,
You think they figured out now with all the drone technology?
Well,
They go hide out
there's
in the
no
woods.
way there wouldn't be a good picture. I mean, there's no. I don't. I love the aspect of Bigfoot. I think it's funny. I think it's I mean, Lord knows I have Bigfoot costume, but no, I don't really believe there's these Sasquatch running around doing all this stuff. No, I'm not insane.
Well, have you seen Missing 411? And the
no, I have
theory
not.
of the forest people. So there's a ton of people have gone missing in a concentrated area of Appalachia, so like northern Tennessee, and they think there's tree people out there
Tree people. I like
snatching people up. Yeah, like
I like
Lord of the
this.
Rings.
Hey, Christy, I am not funny.
There you are.
But good to see you.
We're not
You're right.
guests
Yeah,
anymore.
It's
he's
an
not
asshole,
funny.
but funny as fuck. No, I'm not funny. And Rach, hi. Good to see you. KJ says, Rach says hi. What's up, Rach? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm just not buying into those, those ludicrous things. I'll question the fact of whether or not we have landed on the moon, because that is absurd. Like, the stuff that they tell us is absurd. We lost the footage. We lost this. We lost that. But yeah, some of those things I'm not going to believe.
Right.
Well-
And then you get kind of, we believe these things like that, that are possible and stuff like that. But then you automatically get lumped in with people who think, JFK Jr. didn't faked his own death, so he's going to return in his 70s to have some political career. You get lumped in with those people,
That would be a boss move, though. That would be way. I'd vote for him. Like, holy shit.
Well, the 411, what he was mentioning, it is really interesting. David Politis, I've listened to, followed him on YouTube as well. And a lot of the stories, I've watched the movies, read the books, and the stories are fascinating. He doesn't just go any missing person and, all across the U.S., and he does more of a concentrate on certain areas, but they have to meet a certain profile. And of course, once you start digging into it, what he's exposing, you realize the National Park Service is not being totally open.
Yeah, they're stingy. And these are stories, like, if you're not familiar with this, that are unexplainable. That doesn't mean something supernatural happened, but they're really unexplainable. Like, a 4-year-old boy will be hiking with his family, and then he goes missing. And they find him 2 hours later, like 60 miles up the trailhead or something. And there's no explanation for this. Dyatlov Pass is a good one. I don't know if it's associated with 411, but some hikers in Russia that went missing. They were found with crush injuries, low-level radiation. Some of their eyes were missing.
Oh yeah, they were burned out.
Yeah, not explained to this day.
Yeah, I just looked that movie up. That looks interesting. I think I want to watch
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. I'm actually like sitting here right now Googling that as well.
Yeah,
I'm reading the IMBD right now.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. If you don't know about it, go watch some videos on it. Like, it's wild. And these were expert hikers. They were going for like the highest certification of whatever they do. And the pass is named after Dyatlov, one of the hikers.
And what happened?
Don't know. They were found. So first of all, the tent they were in was cut from the inside. I mean, you can tell just by the way the fabric frays out. It was cut from the inside. They left most of their clothes. So, and it's like minus 40 degrees outside in this area in Russia. So I think, and Dingo, it sounds like he knows more, but I think some of them were barefoot.
Were they like in Siberia or something? Or
I'd have to look at where this Dyatlov Pass is. I mean, it's in like a tundra climate. But they leave all their safety behind for some reason, go out into these conditions, and then they're found just in bizarre circumstances, like their eyes missing, their eyes being burnt out. Why low level of radiation is detected on them? Like, not harmful levels, but far more than background radiation.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that due to the photos, what they were able to collect, because of course that was the Soviet Union, you're not going to get a lot of information. It appeared that everybody seemed to panic and were just trying to get out of their tents, and they were fleeing because some of their bodies were found further, I guess, towards a ravine area, and it's like they were running away.
Yeah, so I think there's a theory that there was an avalanche that ran them out, but then that doesn't. Anytime you come up with an explanation, it makes other things it doesn't explain more unexplainable. So if there's an avalanche, how are their eyes burnt out? Why
Were they just missing, or are they burned out?
I don't
I
know,
mean-
Dingo. Like, did they recover their eyes? I know they weren't with their bodies. And it
I
wasn't.
believe-
What do you mean by burned out? Like they were fried out of their heads? Like,
I believe that's what the photo showed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't pull them up on your stream, but yeah, and just the internal injuries they had. I mean, like they were in a car wreck, like severe crush injuries.
Yeah, as if they were dropped from 500 feet in the air.
that's insane.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, Dingo, you see this comment I highlighted up here?
I don't know. Let me take a look. Okay, yeah.
Talking about our buddy.
Oh, yeah, David.
Yeah. David Bacharach. Yeah. Expedition Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Museum in Blue Ridge, Georgia. That is Dingo and my friend. Yeah, we know David. And I've had David up here on this panel before, years ago. We can bring David back. And I actually plan to bring, Dingo and I were talking about that the other night. We're going to have one night, we're going to bring David back up here. And we're going to talk to him about any Bigfoot Dogman updates. He is the absolute maestro on those topics. So yes, we will have David back up from Expedition Bigfoot in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Everybody needs to go check that out. Probably the best Bigfoot museum in all of the world. There you go, David.
Nice.
Nice.
I like that. He's a super nice guy too.
Oh, he really is.
Yeah,
It'd be
that's
great.
interesting. I got to look into that story though. I've never even heard of that you guys were talking
Yeah.
about.
I'll just read you a short synopsis. It says, so the searchers found the group's abandoned and badly damaged tent in this area, baffled everyone. The tent was half torn down and covered with snow. It was empty, and all the group's belongings and shoes had been left behind. And investigators said the tent had been cut from the inside. 9 sets of footprints left by people wearing only socks or a single shoe or even barefoot could be followed, leading down to the edge of a nearby wood. After 500 meters, these tracks were covered with snow. Searchers found visible remains of a small fire. The first two bodies were, I can't pronounce their names, shoeless and dressed only in underwear. The branches on the tree were broken up to 5 meters high.
Sounds like a Diddy party.
It sounds like a Diddy party. I mean, 5 meters high is like 15 feet, suggesting one of the hikers had climbed up to look for something, perhaps the camp. Then they found 3 more corpses who died in poses suggesting they were attempted to return to the tent. I'm looking for the other ones, but anyways, yeah, I mean, it's wild. Definitely go check it out.
Something interesting about that story, I saw this on a documentary. The local town, which is a town of residents that's probably been there hundreds of years, kind of like what in the U.S. what we call hillbillies, just kind of the locals and so forth. But they have their legends and talk about the lights on top of the mountain off of where they were, and I guess what we would call UFO reports, but it was stuff that they were not familiar with, and they always had a lot of reports of these things.
We should go hiking together. What do you think, fools?
Well, yeah, let's go to Siberia and go hiking. We can, bust some rocks while we're there in the
Fools
snow.
don't hike. Are you crazy?
I don't like hiking. Okay, I will hike. I will hike 10 miles if I'm going to see something amazing, but it better be amazing. I don't want to hike 1 mile to see a waterfall that's like
Yeah,
this is stupid. I don't want to see that. It's like,
You're
Ruby
saying that
Falls.
waterfalls are not amazing?
well, not if it's like somebody peeing off the top of a hill. No. I would hike to Niagara Falls if you couldn't get there to see that. And, like something amazing. There's
Okay, Nate.
What's
Nate's
that?
job is to look for a waterfall with just one spout, and we're taking fools there. It needs to be around Nashville. And we're taking fools there to get a picture of him in this one spouted waterfall.
Like I remember going like it was a journey to get to like Borobudur temples. temple, and to get there through Yogyakarta, and all that. I will do that any day of the week. I will do anything in the world to see something amazing. I'll walk days to see something amazing.
What about historic? Like something to do with history? Would you hike for that?
If it's amazing, I mean, if it's like I'm hiking to go see a battlefield, no, that's empty. No,
Well, I want to go.
Something amazing if I'm going to walk that far.
It's not about the
I walk enough.
destination.
I don't need the exercise.
It's
I
about the
do.
journey.
Oh God.
Well, and I don't think this is far from you in Toccoa. I want to go hike up Mount Currahee, which is where Easy Company trained before they went out. If you've seen Band of Brothers,
yeah, but what are you going to see there?
well, just that. Hey, you're
been
walking the same
It's
stuff
not that
these
impressive.
fucking heroes stepped on, man.
Well, I've been there, so at least, yeah, another hero has been
My pissing waterfall is looking better and better, Nipples.
there. Right, exactly.
Well,
I remember going to Ruby Falls one time. We were up there vacationing up there. And we went to like Ruby Falls, and we got there, and it's like it was like somebody was peeing it down a hole, and it's like I just walked to a cave for all this. And now I'm looking at this. This is stupid.
fools.
It's like
you know.
we also went to that thing. It was because we were up there visiting. I was a kid. We were up there visiting. What is it? The Lost Sea, and we got
went
there. And oh yeah, and you get in there, and you're like in this little lake underneath, and there's all these fish. And I remember looking at them like those are rainbow trout. Yeah, like what are they doing? They're like, I got to talking to the people, and they told me that they stock it with rainbow trout, and that they die and have to restock it because they can't live there.
Oh my God.
Why do they stock it for fishing?
Well, so they can do they take you to the tour in the boat in an underground lake, and they want people to be able to see fish. So they stock it with rainbow trout. I don't know that they still do. This was 20, 25 years ago. I don't know that they still do. Maybe, PETA or something's jumped all over that. But yeah, they would stock it with rain. I'm like, those are rainbow trout. What are rainbow trout doing? I wanted to see like, you used to go to like those caves in Mammoth Cave or something, and you would see like the fish with no eyes because they've, mutated into being that because they don't need them.
Fish
And
frogs.
I'm like, these are rainbow trout. And it's like, yeah, they stock them, but they can't live there because like the sulfur in the, in the water and stuff like that, they all die. They just keep restocking it.
So it's just the bottom is just dead rainbow fish.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't quite ask. They probably sell them to some. That's probably the fish we export to China.
Hey, that's kind of smart though, right?
I mean, and they probably sulfur, a little gunpowder on food, makes pit bulls fight good. So I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm a huge dog lover. I would never be a part of
Oh
that.
my God, dude. You
Okay,
saw what they
Michael
did to
Vick.
Mike Vick. Yeah.
Right.
Which, by the way, he
Oh.
served a lot of time for that.
Yeah, he
Relative.
did.
Yeah, he did get out light though. Like anybody who would actually do that in real life should just be scorned from society. Like in my opinion, I
I
love
agree.
dogs. I love dogs more than I love people. And anybody who would ever actually do that, it should be absolutely scorned from society.
Agree. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't force me to watch that. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I don't love dogs more than I love people, but you should never be mean to anything, and especially something that can't even fend for itself. I mean, come on.
You're a psychopath if you do that. It's crazy.
Yeah. I want to get
Listen,
a dog.
you want to know why I like dogs more than people, Gutters?
Mm.
All right. So if it's raining outside, all right, and I lock the front door and leave my wife outside in the rain. And if it's raining outside and I lock the door and leave my dog outside in the rain, which one is going to be happy to see me when I open the door?
Oh, baby.
Well, I had a dog that would have probably bit your face off if you left him out in the rain, so he was spoiled. So I do get what you're saying, but I don't care. Let's remember, the chain here, the circle of what that,
Well, but dogs don't say you're built like Dr. Phil either. So that is a point.
Right.
It's just jokes, folks. It's just jokes. I would never lock my dog outside the rain.
I mean, unless I had a reason.
Mr. Skulls. It's okay. I got your back. Thanks.
I know. I'm gonna get like shot with a blow dart in the neck here in a minute.
Mhm.
Well, I don't unless you do. You know.
One of them
Texting her
Chinese
right
stars-
now.
One of them Chinese stars about to come in here. Take me out. If you don't hear from me, Katana wins.
Right. I'm texting her right now. You probably got about 15 minutes to run for cover before she gets down there and kicks your ass.
Yeah,
Face
a dog would never drag you to TJ Maxx either.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that is true. A dog would never take you to the grocery store and look at every fucking label of everything they buy. So, fools, what would you say is conventionally thought of as the a crazier conspiracy theory that you buy into? I mean, we talked about the moon landing.
That I buy into.
Yeah, that you subscribe to.
Okay. One of the things, and I don't know this conspiracy theory. I mean, I guess it is. Like my big fascination is with ancient civilizations and things like that. I do believe that the timeline we've been sold by mainstream archaeologists and things like that is wrong. I do believe that.
Like the age of the earth.
Well, no, not necessarily the age of the earth, but the age of the structures that are on the earth. Like I believe the pyramids are older than what they tell us. I believe there was actual intelligent and civilizations before. They want to tell you, it was all hunter gatherers, all this kind of stuff. I believe that before the Younger Dryas period and things like that, that there was actual intelligent civilizations and things that got wiped out and we've brought back, and maybe even multiple times.
Like before the Sumerians, because I think the Sumerians are the first one that had writing. I think.
Yeah. What's that, Dingo?
Oh, I was saying, I was confirming that's the ancient Sumerians, the very first form of writing.
Yeah.
I tell you, I do think that there's something. I put it in the chat before I came on. If you've read of like the Nephilim in the Bible, about these large people or giants, because that is in several different independent ancient.
Look at Nate the Great. Good to see you, Nate.
He's
Big shout out to Nate the Great in the chat. Good to see you,
Nephilim Nate.
Yeah, Nephilim Nate.
But yeah, I mean, I think there probably was something weird that happened with that, legitimately.
Now, do you believe they were of a different race, or do you believe they were humans?
A different race, like alien? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, I don't know. All I would be willing to say is something weird happened with that I don't know what it is. Now, I think there's a lot of people that will say that like there was sex between angels and people that produced some of these things. I mean, obviously, I don't subscribe to that, but something weird happened.
I don't know. Have you been to a Waffle House?
What's that?
I said, I don't know. I buy it. I go to a Waffle House, you see some.
The Nephilim offspring?
You said you don't subscribe to that. Is there a channel?
Me? I subscribe to a lot of channels. But I'm with you. I think ancient history, particularly religious texts, are very fascinating to me. And how they were put together and how, why this is in there, where that comes from. That's all very interesting.
Well, see, I want to do a whole show on, like the Ark of the Covenant. Those are the things that fascinate me the most. And they're not as much conspiracy theories. I love conspiracy theories, but I don't necessarily believe them. But I like the fun in them. But there are some, you have modern day archaeologists. I mean, they won't budge, and you see all this evidence. Do you really think they moved these monolithic rocks on a boat down the Nile River, hundreds of miles. Like how does this work? And then carved them and did these things, and that doesn't really add up to me. Atlantis is another fascinating one. I've been following Jimmy Corsetti. Big shout out to Jimmy Corsetti. Been following him for years on his thing with Atlantis being the Eye of the Sahara over there. That's fascinating stuff right there. And you know about that, Rick?
About Atlantis?
Yeah, look into like the Eye of the Sahara, it's called the Richat structure as well. But look into that. I mean, it almost lines up perfectly. That's very interesting. I'm going to do a whole thing on that as well. And he's one of the biggest people. He tours with Graham Hancock and stuff. And I love Graham Hancock's work. Graham Hancock is, if you've never read his books or done any of that, those are fascinating.
Another good
book. Check that out. Yeah.
Another good one is Randall Carlson. He does a lot of the same stuff and in different ways, but he's really interesting too. All three of those guys he mentioned are really, really interesting people.
Yes, I follow him.
Yeah. And I've watched a ton of stuff on the pyramids. I think that's fascinating. I don't think it's as difficult to move those things maybe as you think, but in the scale that they're doing it is. So, there's a theory like, well, maybe they used just one big ramp. Well, then that ramp, you would need more stones than the whole pyramid required if at a 7-degree grade. And I mean, it's fascinating that we still don't know definitively how this structure was built. Like the Grand Gallery, I think they have granite stones there, which weigh just an incredible amount of weight. That I don't really know how you move. And
I mean, how are some of these things moved hundreds of miles?
Right.
Like, could you imagine something that weighs? I don't even have the numbers in front of me, but something that weighs 15 tons, 20 tons.
I don't think they need boats. I mean, it's right next to a quarry. That's why they picked that site.
No, they brought those stones in. No. Those a lot of these things, those were brought in from hundreds of miles away.
Let's see.
And that's the thing Fools was talking about. Some of there's this weird thing in archaeology, the same thing in like politics and stuff like that they've just closed the doors. They're like, we know everything. It's all finished. There's nothing new.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask any more questions.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I mean, that does exist. Like, I don't know how well you guys don't know me. I mean, I'm a pretty hardcore science guy.
Right, exactly.
But science is composed of people with egos, and they don't like to be wrong, for sure. And that exists. Ideally, science would be, we need to work to throw out bad ideas as quickly as possible, or wrong ideas. But once something becomes mainstream, it's very difficult to unseat that. It's very difficult to get published if you're unknown as well, even if you're correct. We having quiet hour?
I thought I lost service.
Yeah, but the curiosity that made some of these guys get into it, then they did their work to come up to their conclusions. They should have an open. I've heard you a lot of times, Rick, talk about, do your whole science thing and stuff like that, and how you follow that. And you've explained your reasoning very well. But there are some things they just close it off, whether it's ego or they can't make money in it.
Well,
because it's not their idea.
Speaking of the pyramids, the whole food pyramid that we grew up with is a great example of that. It's totally bullshit and totally wrong that you need to be eating a heavy carb diet and no fat is horseshit. And
I've done a whole show on that.
Directly responsible for the being so many people being overweight. And the epidemic of diabetes. And that guy was tenacious about
You remember when they told you, don't eat butter, eat petroleum?
It's dumb. It's
Yeah,
dumb
eat
because
Don't eat butter. Yeah.
fats, as far as like how filling you get per unit mass, is the best thing you can eat. Not that you should only eat that, but that what did we do when we took fats out of things? We put a bunch of sugar in it.
Just stay on the outside of the store. That's the deal. Stay
Mhm.
around the perimeter of the store. Don't go with inside it. Stay out of the middle aisles as much as possible, and you'll feel tons better.
Well, if you'll just, I mean, this is what I'm trying to do right now. Like, I'm overweight. I'm 6'2", about 265, and I'm
Wait,
just
you're
trying-
overweight?
Yeah, I know. This is not a conspiracy. This is well known.
I'm just joking with you, brother.
No, you gotta laugh
You've
about
proved
it.
I'm
it.
joking with you.
It's true. But
It
and I
actually
have
is,
lost
Dr.
about-
Phil.
I have lost about 20 pounds by just not eating.
There. That's better. Thank you.
Oh no.
Keep going.
But you got to bring up a topic. I can't.
I need to real quick though. Bubs, Mr. Duggar gifted a Traveling Fools membership out there. I'm trying to see who got it. Allie Jenny got that. Thank you, Mr. Duggar. I love you, Bubs. Love you. And Mr. Duggar, just for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Duggar. Always appreciate you. Love you, man.
Woo.
All right, I'm working on something here real fast.
Now, fools, I don't know why you would objectify women on your show like that, but not good.
Man, did you see what she was wearing?
Can you explain the dental floss that she used, Phil?
This is actually a true story. After my divorce, I ended up moving in with a gay man. Okay, and it's true. And he ended up meeting a guy at one of these clubs. I think they rave. They talk about taking poppers and stuff. And he brought him home. And evidently he was hooked on meth. And so he knocked on my door and he presented me with some peanut butter and a roll of dental floss. I said, "What the fuck is this, man?" I was like, "Have I been marked with some gay code or something?" I went on Google. And turns out, no, he was just hooked on meth. So don't do meth.
Well, I meant her dental floss, but okay. That she was using as bottoms.
Dental floss is bad. Okay. That's my takeaway.
What about if it's in the crack of your ass?
That's okay. Okay. If it lets you see more of a woman's ass, I mean,
It's okay.
you're just a man being a man. We have these instincts. All right. They're God given, and you just can't suppress that. Gotta let it out.
Men usually do.
Are you objectifying men?
Never. Well, maybe.
What is that? Proud Boys? Don't they have their own little incel club? That sleep.
Proud Boy- The MGTOW? I don't know.
Yeah, and they like parade around, talk about how women,
Hurt their feelings.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't understand that whole thing. That's a conspiracy.
Outlaw, come tell us about that.
No, I do not want to gutter. Big shout out to Maven as well. Good to see you, Maven. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't. I love Outlaw. He's a good friend of mine, but I don't. Not everybody has to agree with everybody. That's a fun thing, and not everybody has to agree with politics. Not everybody has to agree on religion. Not everybody has to agree on
Clearly.
conspiracies. Not everybody has to agree on anything. And that's why I love these topics over here. Is people can have these conversations, and they don't necessarily have to agree on everything.
Well, and a lot of times, being honest, he's not wrong about the things he's bitching about. So I just have to give him shit because he's a whiner.
Well, I mean, if you're a man, you can't ever let anyone know they got to you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just
Especially
a law.
me.
Yeah, especially you.
That's
sure.
right. You have a wound? Oh, here, wait. Let me get the salt shaker.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay. Let's just go get a drink.
That's right.
I think it's rude if you're a man to cry in front of people. I do think that legitimately because it makes everyone uncomfortable around you.
Just facts.
Well, the problem for me is it doesn't just make me uncomfortable. It like rips my heart out and stomps on it. To see like a
What?
grown, huge man cry, it does. For some reason, it's like something had to have really broke him for him to be crying. He's a huge
Yeah.
grown man. Why is he crying? So
You separate yourself. This is why I can't watch Forrest Gump with anybody. Because at the end, you know, after Jenny totally fucks his whole world up for no reason, and he's at her grave, like it gets me. That's a solo venture.
Mhm.
Yeah, what a horrible villain in a movie Jenny was, right?
She was a
Right.
hoot.
Whore.
She fucked all of Leonard Skinner before coming back to him.
Hey, if everybody, all right, if everybody could welcome our next guest up on here, we have the I don't even know how to explain who this person is. I think they'll probably speak for themselves.
Okay.
Welcome in, Guru.
Uh-oh.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
How are you doing, Guru?
I'm doing all right. It's been a little bit. Where do we leave off on this?
I think it's somewhere past the moon, between the moon and Uranus. How are you?
All right. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. So, what's the suit du jour tonight? What are we talking about?
Well, we've gone all over the place. We've gone from whether or not we agree that we've landed on the moon to if Hitler ended up in Argentina to what do you got to add to the conversation?
Interesting. The moon. So, the biggest thing about the moon landing to me was if it wasn't true, the Soviets would have dropped a dime on us so quickly. Like, why wouldn't they have done that? That's my biggest takeaway with that. There's a lot of physical evidence that makes me very suspicious. But the biggest takeaway from that is our enemies would have easily humiliated us if we had them. That's my thought.
Yeah.
So you believe we win?
Yeah, because like, why wouldn't the Russians have called bullshit on us if we did?
Well, how would they have known at that point? It's not like we have the same, data and things like that nowadays. Not everybody's observing things like they are now. You can't relate 1969 to 2025.
I would say because they had spies all throughout our government. They knew what was going on.
Okay.
You know, my favorite story about like the space race between the Russians and
Hey,
us,
try to speak into your mic a little better, or your phone, or whatever.
and it's kind of a crappy mic. Can you hear me now?
No, we
That's
can't
worse.
hardly hear. Yeah, it got worse.
All right. How about now?
That's a little better. Yeah.
So my favorite story is like during the space race, we invested millions of dollars in trying to figure out how to like transcribe like notes and like record data in zero gravity. And we're trying to figure out like why doesn't ink, like like a ballpoint pen doesn't necessarily work so well up in space.
Are you speaking into a potato, sir?
You're going to need to lean in a little bit, okay?
Well, we invested so much money in trying to figure out how to like take notes and use a pen. The Russians just use a pencil.
Right. Exactly. They used a pencil. We spent all that money making a ballpoint pen. Absolutely ridiculous.
Are you a Russia sympathizer?
I think he is.
Well, I like the fact that they just like cut to the chase. That was interesting.
Yeah. No, I think that's a common counter point to this is why why did they not say, hey, this is bullshit? I guess Fools is saying, how would they know? I don't know what they could have known and what they couldn't though. But I mean, it's a good counterexample.
Well,
I mean, 1969, very different than now. but-
You got to. I mean, just think about the history of it. So, the Soviets, the whole time that they were around, they had infiltrated our government since the 20s. Actually, even more before the 1950s. But they had spies. They knew what was going on. The same for us. We had spies over there, but they would have known if we truly were on the moon or not.
So let me play devil's advocate.
They would have been able to call bullshit if we really weren't on the moon.
So if you're saying spies had the information, would it not be possible that the information that they would put out would basically put the spies in danger? Because that information could have only come from one area, and then they might lose their spies.
That's a good point. But life is cheap to them. So I think that the political capital that they would have acquired by exposing us would have been far, to them, that's worth more than their spies. I mean,
Like they wouldn't give a fuck if their spies got executed.
they look at their people as cannon fodder. So sure,
yeah, there
I
might be.
think they would have. I think the political capital, they would have loved it.
So you think this looks legit?
No, I don't. Like that's the thing. It's like what I've seen. Like I'm like, this is ridiculous. And the whole space buggy, like the whole putting the space buggy in that thing and then putting it on the moon, like it's ridiculous.
Right. This thing here. This thing.
Yeah. I mean, they took that for a ride. I mean, they're just hitting the back roads on the moon, playing, some Pink Floyd and just driving this freaking moon buggy around.
It's like Gutter said, all it's missing is a cooler full of fucking Busch Light.
That's right. And the golf clubs.
Yeah, but
But
trust me.
also,
I mean, this thing's
like-
ridiculous looking to me. And I was in DC earlier this year, and I saw like a prototype. Like they made another one. It's like it looked like see the seats. It looks like lawn chairs.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying earlier. Remember when they would wear out and give you splinters, like little fiber splinters?
Yeah.
And you'd have to go to Walmart's and buy the new one, and people were actually like back then they would redo their launchers. I mean, that is absolutely.
That's the
Yeah,
first
okay.
Razor, 1969, right there.
I love the satellite on that thing too. Like what's that purpose? Like what's that do?
That's an umbrella.
It's an umbrella.
Can I bounce back and forth on each side of this
What
argument?
is that? Is that getting the live NBCs?
What do you got for us, Rex?
In my backyard.
Well,
Wait a minute, Guru. What do you got, Rex?
bro, it looks stupid though is not really an argument. Like that's like being a prosecutor and saying, I mean, look at him, Your Honor, he's fucking guilty. Like, yeah, it looks crazy, but you just got through saying, oh well, it's 1969.
Yeah,
Weight is an
look
issue.
Okay.
Get this stuff up there.
Look at a Model T.
Okay, okay.
That came out a long time before
So
1969, and I would much rather drive that around the moon than this.
Explain
Good luck
why
getting
we
it up
haven't been back. And don't give me the budget bullshit.
Why is that invalid?
Because we just spent 25 million on trying to put a dome over us or some bullshit over this missile thing that's never
Wow.
going to fly and
That's
hit us.
defense oriented though. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously not a priority.
But
I mean, what
I
would
mean,
we get out of going back to the moon again and then again and then again? From their perspective, especially, I mean,
Well,
you
then
said-
why do we want to go back now?
Well, we don't. We haven't.
Well, then it just seemed like to be like a little where they could play golf and drive around on a little dune buggy they built.
I want to go
You would think
well, why
today,
did I go 6 times in 4 years?
because it was.
but I
new.
guess the reason today would be to collect the technology they have today is to collect more data that they didn't back then. You would think.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm not an expert on the budgetary, how all this fucking shit works with them. I do know.
Well, none of us are. But
No, I
okay,
just thought
Rec,
you're
you
right.
said you want to go. I will chip in $1. So if we get enough people, we can put Rec in this thing and drop you on the moon. You still in?
I'll have to lose some weight because I think it takes $2 million per pound to get something out of Earth's gravitational influence. So let me see what that would cost just for my weight.
Look at the flag.
I will pay you $1 to stay out of it because I believe in population control, but I'd kind of like to get rid of the dumb ones, and you really don't seem like you're that dumb to me. So I'll put my $1 into the don't go.
I feel like that whole thing is like a half an inch thick. Like it's unbelievable.
It has to be constructed as lightly as possible. I mean, that would be one reason why they're using the material.
But yet it could carry the moon buggy.
Sure, yeah. I mean, but the gravity in that.
I don't know, but the
It's
bottom
gotta
of it is what they wrap turkeys in.
Dingo, what were you saying? Dingo, what were you saying earlier about? They were saying now how many gallons of gas and how many rockets they'd have to put to make it to the moon. Now, what was that?
I believe the estimate was about 26 rockets that are bigger than the Saturn V just to produce the fuel to go to the moon and back.
Right. So we had that. So are you saying that they had that in 1969?
They had the technology. Like they don't have the Saturn rocket technology right now.
Because they lost it, right? Yeah. So let me ask you this, Guru. Why do you think that they lost all the original footage and everything from the original moon landings? How did they lose that?
So I've heard that, but I don't know the details. So like, who lost it? Like I
NASA, the government. It's lost. They don't have it. They've admitted it. They've lied and said they don't have it.
I don't know.
Maybe it was Jimmy down in the warehouse. He lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You know, that is weird because a better lie, if you're going to lie, would be, hey, it's film. And film, you know, it degrades. So it's degraded to a point that you can't watch it. Would be a better lie.
Now, I've heard that conspiracy too, or not a conspiracy, but that they actually did do it. And the government, NASA, they have technology 20 years ahead before we know it. And that they couldn't get the technology back. So they had to recreate all of this stuff, like this stupid picture on the screen here. But that sounds kind of retarded.
Well, you know, every picture that NASA sends back is digitally altered anyway.
Michael
single-
Composites.
So have you all heard like that apparently they put like mirrors up on the moon, like if you have a powerful enough telescope you can like see the reflection. Have you heard that?
Shit, we could buy a telescope powerful enough to look at it.
Yeah, I don't think you have to like go to an observatory or anything. But
Yeah.
that's what I heard. It's like they put mirrors up there and people say, "Oh, you can see it," and all that.
Does it show you
Like,
looking through a
the-
telescope?
Some of the video footage I've seen,
It shows you looking through a telescope.
yeah,
50 years ago.
It's like, where's Waldo? Looking
so
through a
tough,
telescope,
guys,
looking
like,
back at you.
it makes
Right.
it hard to believe. But like I said, the biggest thing to me is the Soviets would have exposed this.
Well, what makes you think that they're not all? I mean, like they're not in on all that shit together. Like,
Because they were communists and we were capitalists. Like they would love nothing more than to rub our shit, like our nose in our shit, if we weren't.
did you watch our show about the secret societies and all that?
No, he did not. He ignores us most of the time.
Yeah. Okay.
He,
well,
he just pops in from time to time and tells me.
I mean, I know everything about that, but no, I did not see that show.
you know everything about it, right on. Tell us.
What is this like? There's some globalist, oligarchy that controls everything like throughout the world. Is that
It's called
the
the Illuminati.
No, I'm legitimately asking. Is that the idea?
Well, okay, like she was saying our show last Friday. What do you think about like the Bohemian Grove and like the Skull and Bones?
Yeah, I've heard of this big giant owl that and the many presidents are part of Skull and Bones. Look, I am sure that these guys that are ultra powerful and wealthy, they all run in the same circles. I think where like me and the more hardcore conspiracy people diverge is it's greed and stupidity and not some evil plot, to take over the world for some common cause. Like they want to retain power. They're going to do that. That is what's happening. That's not even a conspiracy.
So my take on the Skull and Bones, I don't think really the Skull and Bones in this day and age really has much sway. I think 50, 100, 150 years ago, I mean, it was basically like a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant group out of Yale, like all of the elite of the Northeast. They would send their kids, their sons to Yale, and it was basically.
Hey, Guru, try to talk get closer to your phone or whatever you're using.
Yeah, it's just a bad
You
mic.
sound like RFK Jr. Could you speak up?
Don't eat the Doritos.
I'm just gonna have to type my chat.
Well, they moved it from Bohemian Grove to Epstein Island, and now I don't know where they have it now.
Well, Skull and Bones in the 2004 election, you had two Skull and Bone members against each other, old Bush and Kerry. So
Right, running against each other. Regardless which one won, it wouldn't have made a goddamn difference. We still would have done the same.
not a
the
bit
same
of difference.
bullshit.
Yeah, I do tend to agree with that. Like on some level, it doesn't really matter who the executive is. Like we're going to get involved in a bunch of bullshit no matter what happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. I hope we stay out of the new wars. I don't want no new ones. So
Well, we
hopefully
took a 2-week hiatus on that, so we'll see. I mean, it's not looking great at the moment. I don't really know how you walk some of this back.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's just-
I don't want to get political here, though. We try to stay out of that. But I don't know. What do you think, Dingo? You got anything to say to this guru guy coming in here hot?
No, it all sounds good. I mean, one of the things you have to look back at during that time period is how many news channels did you have? CBS, ABC, NBC. I mean,
100%.
you didn't have 24-hour news. You didn't have the internet. You did not have a mass communication. If the Russians did want to call us out on something, how? Because we're not going to post it on our broadcast, or neither will most of the other countries. But, everything that we looked at that they said was a lie.
You make a fantastic point. Just imagine, the difference in today. In 1962, you've got 2 channels on the TV, and you get your newspaper on the front door. That's the only information you have to go by. That's it.
Correct.
And it was trusted like mainstream science. It was brought to you like, this is fact, this is what's going on, this is everything. I mean, propaganda has gone on. There was propaganda in ancient Rome. There was propaganda going on when our country was founded. There was propaganda papers being printed. There's always been propaganda, and that's exactly what the media is.
But wouldn't you say it's worse now than it was 50 years ago? As far as like, where would I go? Where would you tell me to go to get the truth?
Well, it's not worse now because people, it's not government controlled anymore. It
The
used to be
mainstream.
government. Mainstream media was always controlled. It's been controlled. They've been feeding whatever they want to the news, to the people, telling the people what to believe. I mean, that's a fact. You got, what is it, Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird. I mean, that's gone on. It's still going on right now. That's a proven fact. The government has fed mainstream media since way back. I don't know what year what year did that start? Anybody know that?
Well, that was kind of right after the Operation Paperclip, wasn't it? Like after we did like the Nazi draft.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I had to guess, it was 1950. I don't know. I'm throwing out a number.
1963.
63. Okay, so, and that is a total push, and that's right when having a television in your household started to become a normal thing. Everybody started getting a television. Everybody started getting all this. So the government says, "Hey, here we go. Operation Mockingbird. We're going to feed this to this." I mean, who is it? CNN was the first, nobody gave a damn. People would sit down, they'd watch the Leave It to Beaver show and the Andy Griffith show and blah, blah, blah. They'd tune in. It was a 30-minute news show. They would sit there and do that. And they would sit there and say, "Hey, this is the news of the day. This is what happened." And everybody goes, "Oh, okay, this is what I'm listening to. This is what I'm hearing. So I'm going to believe that as fact." And they did that. I do love that now we have independent journalists, but so many of them are. So I don't really know where to go with that. If it's better now, or I mean, it obviously wasn't better then when the government was just fucking lying to you and telling you to listen to exactly what they wanted you to know, and you're a bunch of brainless people. But now you have all these, the absurd people that are, I have so many people. It's like I get my news from. What's that stupid Democrat? Oh shit, I can't think about
something.
Yeah, right. If you're watching, I mean, there's so many people that are so biased. Either way, they'll twist and change things. I don't watch any of that shit. I just try to find my own thing and go from there. Maybe I'm wrong sometimes. I'll never admit. Last year I was wrong twice. I haven't been wrong yet this year, but last year I was wrong twice. So.
Well, I guess what the point I'm making is, because you have so many different avenues to get news now, and 95% of them are bullshit, you'd have to almost make a full-time vocation out of trying to suss out what's really going on. Like, people just don't have the time to sort through all this shit and figure it out,
Well, but
I think you just have to
First
look
of all,
for-
I think you have to kind of use some sense, not common sense, but sense in when you're thinking about things like this. And so if you think the government can lie to you in one area, but you think they wouldn't do it in another area, I feel like it kind of makes you naive and not being open enough to realize that if they're going to do it in one area, they're going to do it in another. It's kind of like having kids. If they're going to lie to you about not doing the dishes, they're also going to lie to you about the fact that they didn't clean their room. They shoved all their shit under their bed. So
that's the point I'm making. Like, you don't think the government doesn't have a say-so in what gets pushed in YouTube's algorithm?
Hey, can you all hear me okay?
Always.
Yeah,
Yep.
you sound good.
Oh, good. All right. So we're talking about like propaganda and government. Like, before the internet, though, think about it. Like, your media outlets were pretty constrained, and they 100% had influence on what was told and what wasn't. So, yeah, I think now there's so many different outlets that you can consume, but it takes you, the consumer, you have to do your own homework, because there's so much stuff out there, and there's a lot of bullshit. It's like you have to do your own homework to really what you believe is true and what isn't.
Yeah, most people are not going to do that.
Correct.
That's just
but before the internet, again, you had controlled media outlets. You were fed whatever they wanted you to know. So you really didn't have you didn't have that many options back then at all. At least now you have more options, but it does take homework. So I'm thinking about like the Vietnam War. Like, remember, like that was like the first war, well, really the only time where people come home from work, families would eat at the, eat dinner at the family dinner table, and they would see like these dead bodies on, like Dan Rather reporting, or, or Walter Cronkite. And you see these dead Americans and dead Vietnamese, and it's right there in your living room. And
Right.
nobody ever seen that before. And that blew people's mind. And over time, the American opinion soured on the Vietnamese War or Vietnam War. After that, you never saw that. You never saw that on the media. We didn't have tremendous wars after that, but like the Iraq War, for example, you didn't see all that.
No.
So.
No. And we also, the government admitted they lied about Gulf of Tonkin to get us in Vietnam. They literally admitted that.
Well, that's a given fact.
Yeah, they received the information that it was just probably bad radar and because of high tides, and that it didn't happen. And that information was relayed to McNamara and LBJ, and they still went on TV. And that was very rare for the president to come on TV back in the day that much. He was like, "We got to go to war," and he asked Congress for. That's what escalated the war, was something that never happened.
Well, yeah, I'll give you a conspiracy with 9/11. I don't think that it was an inside job at all. What I do think, though, is they used it as an opportunity, and they might have even had intelligence that they kind of knew something might happen and maybe didn't act on it. And then they took that as an opportunity to erode your civil rights and civil liberties to a point that it's unrecognizable today. That you can just be searched for any reason. The government admits they're spying on you through your phone and your internet provider. And it's just like, okay, this is known. No one cares.
Okay.
Crazy.
I agree with you on that part of the whole, they took away our liberty. That was their whole point. But I just have a question.
Okay.
Do you believe that those towers fell the way they did from just a plane hitting them?
So, I've watched a lot of stuff. I've watched the Jesse Ventura stuff and Building 7. I don't know. I think that here's what I do know for sure. We don't know the full story. Whatever the full story is not been given.
I do like the way you said you watched the Jesse the Body Ventura.
I
At
love
least for
Jesse.
the body, if you're gonna do that.
Oh yeah, he was a WWF wrestler. Minnesota
I watched his
guy.
commentary in WrestleMania 1 and 2. It was fantastic.
And I
would vote
sold
for
out.
Jesse. I would vote for Jesse today in a heartbeat.
Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon were the best wrestling commentary ever.
That is a fact. That is
Quite
a
the
fact.
team. Quite the team.
How do buildings fall at the rate of free fall? Tell me that. I've heard it. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, the most I would be willing to go with that you could probably convince me of is that we knew that attack was coming and let it happen.
Oh, there's CIA whistleblowers who have come out, like John Kiriaki, for one. They knew in the summer. They knew in the summer they got all the transmissions. They used code words like "there's going to be a big wedding in September." They knew what the code words were. They were all praying to each other, crying, telling each other, "We'll see you in heaven.
Who's that?
We'll see you in paradise," like the terrorist. They knew all this stuff in the summer.
And what about the one that hit the Pentagon? I mean, it was like low flying, like right to the front door. I
With
mean,
no
that
wings.
didn't add up. No
I
way.
agree with you on that. The whole
That was
Pentagon
really
thing,
weird.
The size of the hole that you could pull this turn that they supposedly turned in a jetline commercial airplane as a non-certified pilot is hard to believe.
Yes.
Something weird happened with the Pentagon. I don't know what it is, and I don't believe the official narrative on that.
The most secure place on Earth is the Pentagon, and they only had
by the way,
only had one camera working that day.
weren't they in an audit during that time? And then after that, they're like, "Oh, we lost the records, and there's literally $1 trillion we now can't account for." Am I wrong on that? I might be misremembering this.
And
No,
the
that is
man,
true.
And the
let me-
man
and
that had just bought the building, but had been, going in there every day and all of this. I don't know. He'd bought the building a few months beforehand. He then didn't go in on that day. He didn't go, even though that was his normal day. He hadn't called in sick before, but he did on that day, or
Well, it's
just
just-
didn't come in that day.
Gutters, that's just like the Jeffrey Epstein thing. I mean, it's like, oh, well, it just so happens that the two people who were the guards called in sick that day. There were two other people. Somehow or another, at the exact moment when all that happens, the cameras went out. Why? Oh no, those cameras go, oh, yep, he's dead. And they're like, oh, he hung himself with a roll of toilet paper or whatever they want to try to tell you it was. And they think you're stupid. They think you're actually going to believe this shit. I'll go there. There's another conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein, CIA. It's like
Does anyone?
nobody ever knows, where did he make his money? They're like, oh, real estate investments. Anybody else, you can say, where did Donald Trump make his money? You can say, okay, well, he bought Mar-a-Lago, or he bought this casino, he bought this. Epstein, they're like, what did he buy? I don't know. He's just a real estate investor.
The most interesting thing about the Jeffrey Epstein thing to me is I forget where I was seeing this, but nobody can find anybody who did like a big deal with like a big financial deal with Jeffrey Epstein.
This is like Madoff. No one said they traded with the guy for fucking 40 years.
Right.
Same
That's
thing with
odd.
Epstein. No,
Didn't
Yeah.
get like gifted some fucking house or some.
He started off as a teacher at a private school.
Yeah.
And a very high-end private school up in New York, or somewhere up in the Northeast. And then he went and then apparently he went into the financial industry.
Yeah, but there's no records of if you were that rich and had all that stuff and all those assets, enough to buy an island with the,
Can't find
Illuminati
anybody
temple.
who did a big deal with them.
Nope, there's no records of. Oh,
Well-
it was real estate money. Well, what did he
Well-
buy and sell? We don't know.
Well, first of all, the Mossad doesn't leave paperwork.
Oh, Jesus. There we go.
Well, there's
Yeah.
been many books written about his connections to Mossad.
No, 100,
Oh.
that's a fact. I mean, it's like with Elon, you can track his money. Like he started PayPal and then he did you can look through it and verify it, but there's none of that with Epstein. I mean, this is the failure of media today. Why is this? That was a story for how many days? One?
We've talked about this like here before. So you have that. What's her name? Jazine Maxwell or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so she ended up going to
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. Okay. Okay. So she ended up going to prison. So supposedly she's in prison. Wasn't her dad CIA?
The story is her dad.
Right.
Her dad was
okay.
CIA. Her dad was from England. Her dad was intelligence for what agency? I don't know. The
He
story
was
was her
Mossad.
dad
He was
because he
Mossad.
was a media. He was like a media tycoon.
Okay. So riddle me this, Batman. If she's in jail for something that she did, who are the people guilty of doing what she did that to? Like, or sold us to? Why hasn't anybody else been arrested for any of this? If there's a crime,
Like
then
accomplice.
they know who the people that who bought into the crime. If she was selling, sex trading or doing whatever to these people, who are the people buying it? It's too big. You've got Saudi Arabian princes. You have,
US politicians.
British monarchs. You have all these people. That's fucking CIA. That's what it is. I mean, slap you in the fucking face and figure it out, people.
Yeah, who did they traffic them to the island?
Right.
Zero people have
If
been
you
arrested.
can't-
Who they traffic them
exactly.
to? How do you have a crime of sex trafficking people to people, but there's no people who receive them that have been arrested?
Well, it's a
Those
heavy-
people should be guilty. They were paying to do that. Hey, none of them. So it's just like, oh, Epstein's dead. We arrested the broad, and yeah, look, squirrel. Now Diddy's in trial.
It's a heavy topic. Let me bring some levity. Did you hear about Stephen Hawking being there on Epstein Island? He's on the logs, and they have notes in the logs. And so evidently what Stephen Hawking liked to do was have a midget do math on a blackboard that was too tall for him, so he had to jump up to write something.
Tell me you're joking, right?
I swear to God. I swear. May Georgia Tech never win another game. This happened.
Serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, Stephen Hawking is in the files. Yeah. Is on the log. The part that they released. Now, that's a whole other rabbit hole of.
Will you please jump up on top of the table and write this for me?
Higher. MC squared. You wrote cubed. You're like, you can't make this shit up, man.
I'm gonna die.
It's so ridiculous when you think about it all.
Yeah, it's just an island of debauchery.
Yeah.
But they're going to release the files any day now.
Oh, yeah. That and the JFK files and the aliens and that, you know, just keep hang in there, folks. It's just hang in there. It's
the Vegas shooter is, to me, is still like the burning conspiracy in my mind. Like,
well, they dropped that.
That one's just because it's fairly recent, and that got dropped like a bad habit after a week. And yeah, I come on now. They only think about it, they only released like 3 photos of that guy and a very weak backstory, and that was it.
Yeah, that made no sense either. That was another one that made absolutely no sense, and people just buy it, you know, and they're like, oh well, okay, move on to the next story. Look, squirrel, yeah, you know, and they just keep moving on.
Hey, Dave Chappelle made a joke about trans people. That's what we got to focus on, guys. This is what's important. Don't look at Epstein or nobody.
Yeah.
What's up, Big Dog Ma? See you in the chat there. Tyson Hook as well. Good to see you guys. And
have y'all?
Good to see you, Ann.
Have y'all been talking about what's going on with Iran?
I don't think Fools wants to get into that, but I'll let him speak.
Well, we have a little bit, but we try not to get like political here, because, especially on this show. Gutter does a hell of a show every Tuesday night on politics, but you know, I mean, you can talk about it, but
I mean, all of this is political. Epstein's political. I don't know. To me, there's more to meet the eye on that one too. But
well, it seems like we got out of the war in Iraq, and now Lockheed, Halliburton, Honeywell need to pack their pockets with some more money. And that's my takeaway.
Yeah,
probably so. That's probably a very good description of that.
What are we gonna do, guys? I only have 15 yachts. This is fucking horseshit. In fact,
we gotta send a bunch of your children over here. And you know,
they're heroes though, and these are still my yachts.
All I know about it is that 3 weeks ago nobody gave a fat shit about Iran, and now half the country is terrified, scared of Iran, and it makes no sense. It's probably, I don't know, it goes back to the whole secret societies and conspiracy. I mean, it's a propaganda machine. Nobody gave a shit 3 weeks ago, and now.
Well, now they have nuclear.
Everybody's flipping the fuck out, you know.
Doesn't this sound like why we got invaded Iraq? Doesn't this sound just like that?
It's the same playbook.
That was such a big lie. Colin Powell became a Democrat, by the way, because he looked like such a fucking idiot on a world stage. Is that too political, Fools?
Not at all. Not at all. Is I don't mind it being like, as long as all sides are represented and everything. I just don't want it to be like I don't
Democrats
want to be
versus
politics,
Republicans.
right? I don't want to
All
turn
right.
it into a fight. I mean, we can talk about like straight
Pick
up
sides
facts
now.
down the middle. I don't want a bunch of people fighting
the,
over.
the conspiracies have to be at least 10 years old, right?
No, I get not wanting to fight. I mean, it does sound like we all agree, like something. The truth is not being told here. There are ulterior motives as to why this is being done, and it's bullshit. I think that's.
I mean, okay, here's my point. Everybody knows my political leanings. I'm pretty down the center and who I voted for. Yes, I voted for Donald Trump. I would vote for him again, but he doesn't walk on water, and I'm not going to like buy into some thing to where I can criticize him as well, but I don't want it to like turn into like a.
Gotcha.
The volatility of things these days. I like things over here to be fun.
I've been involved with the volatility before on Pete's show.
And it's ridiculous. I don't want to fight with people because it doesn't do any good. All you're doing is alienating good people from your life.
I'm a lover, not a fighter, man. You know this.
Right, exactly. I know. I've met you. That reach around was great.
I even look back at you.
Mhm.
You don't get that every time.
Ew, gross. Eye contact. Y'all really are gay.
That's what made it gay. It wasn't gay before that, but when we locked eyes, there was.
Oh goddamn.
All right, fuck it. Talk about politics. Fuck this.
Yeah, bad. All right, let's burn it to the ground. We'll go back to arguing about politics.
I got it.
That was nice though.
What do you got, Gutters?
I'll burn it to the ground.
All right, thanks.
Not a problem.
Dingo, you still with us?
Oh yeah, I'm just sitting back listening.
What do you think about this?
Well, I actually had a comment about when we were talking about the 9/11 thing, real quick.
Yeah, go.
Remember mentioning about Jesse Ventura. The one thing that's always stuck out to me about that one episode, and it's not what you can prove. Everybody's got their theories. What I look for, and it might be 16 years of law enforcement I have, but it's just that I look at indicators. And one of them that always stuck out to me from that one episode was, remember when he confronted the special agent with the FBI about the black boxes? Oh no, we never located them. Well, coincidentally, he had the fire chief there, and fire chief confronted him and said, I handed them to you personally, and called him out. And then he changed his story. And so when they're turning around lying to you about that, that's how conspiracies start. And getting back to like the footage for the moon, oh well, we lost those footages. Well, you can't file a Freedom of Information Act if we don't have those or they don't exist.
Good point.
So if they don't exist or we lost them or we never found it, now you can't find out what's on it. But that's just tying in a few subjects, a little while back. I was just thinking of things.
It's a good point. I mean, if you don't you're hiding something. I don't know what it is or how bad it is, but you would only do that if you're hiding something.
Yeah.
So what are y'all's thoughts, like, in playing devil's advocate here, as far as like massive conspiracies? They say like if more than one person knows about something, everybody's going to know about it. So like for the moon landing, for example, there were so many people that were involved in working on that. How could that have been kept a secret for as long as it was?
How's Area 51 been a secret for as long as it's been? It's the same thing. I think they're sworn to secrecy. Think about when COVID came and everybody was worried about losing their jobs if they didn't do what they were told.
Some did.
That wasn't a conspiracy, though. People were bitching left and right about that.
Yeah, and now, Guru, I do love that argument. Like I do love that. Like how could you keep that under? So another thing I've thought about was, did we go in 1969 or did we make it right after that? Did we have the fakes ready? And did we? I mean, there's a million things. Like I said before, I'm not coming on here saying that I necessarily believe we didn't go to the moon, and I'm not saying that either or.
And
But-
the thing about a good argument will withstand questioning, and that's why whatever you posit, you have to withstand questioning. So, like for example, like the moon landing, like how? Because you're looking at NASA.
What did you do, Guru? Did you why can we hear you now, but we couldn't hear you earlier?
Oh, I got it on my phone.
Okay, cool. Thank
Yeah, it's like NASA, Department of Defense, multiple contracting agencies and companies, like just thousands and thousands upon people for many, many years working on this. How was that not
Yeah.
leaked?
I'll tell you why that's a good point. Going back to the government surveilling on you, we couldn't keep that a secret. Edward Snowden blew the whistle on it, and he's still a refugee to this day over it. So if we couldn't keep that a secret, that's why I don't think that 9/11.
but things are different now than they were in 1969. Like, let's just be like, we can't look at life right now the same we're looking at life in 1969. We have the fucking internet now.
Well, I'm
We
looking at
have,
01.
Well, I know, but you have to like separate that. Like everything, all time periods, everything out there, you have to separate it from when that time period was to what the time period is now when we objectively look at it.
Yeah. I don't know about the moon landing. I'm just saying that's why I don't think 9/11 was an inside job. Like someone would have said something about that, I believe.
Well, see, I don't believe it's an inside job either, but I just believe that the full truth isn't being exposed.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
It's
I
kind of
mean,
like
how many times do these mass shooters or these other people come out there and there's like, oh, they were on the FBI watch list. They were on the
Like the kid in Florida, the police went to his house they were called 17 times on him.
right.
Something like that. That Cruz or whatever his name is in Florida.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't trust anything that we're told.
Not that's important.
Nope.
What's that,
But
right?
hey,
Rick?
we've been to the moon.
We've been lied to in everything with everything. Think about it. Our health care, our food, our environment, everything. It don't matter what it is, they lie to us about it.
Hey, Gutters, I want you to stop using butter and eat petroleum. That would be a good idea for you.
Yes.
Eat loads of pasta and loads of bread, like the pyramid says.
Right, exactly. Or like Frank. I remember from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I remember Frank at the Pyramid Scheme. He flips it over. He's like, no, it's a funnel.
Great show. Rum ham.
yeah, it is.
Rum ham was great. I love that show. One of the best is the dentist system.
Oh, yeah.
The dentist system was
Yes.
absolutely awesome.
And that he's probably a serial killer.
Right. Or the implication.
Why do you have all this stuff? I just have duct tape and zip ties and different. It's just my stuff, okay? So leave me alone.
Right.
Oh,
The implication when they're on the
grocery
boat.
store is the best.
It's the implication.
That's one of my
Back is
favorite
like-
shows.
Yeah, it's the best.
Like that, like Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, that was okay at first, but I lost interest.
Yeah, it's kind of a one-trick show
Yeah.
for sure. Obviously, love South Park.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate you letting me on, fools.
Hey, Rack, man, always good to talk to you. I might try to do something cool for you in a month, but if I can get who the hell's your coach this year?
It hurts my heart that you had to ask that. It's Brent Key.
Brent Key. If I can get him to say something to you, what do you want?
I'm bringing a natty to Atlanta this year.
I mean, come on, something more fun than that. But, you know,
man, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, just a shout out, just general shout out's fine. Do you think you could do that?
well, I've already got the credentials. I've already got like all the stuff to go to ACC Media Days. But yeah, so I would like to get him one saying like, you know, Viva Las Buzzsaw or, you know, something like that for CDawg.
Why? Yeah, ask him, why is Rec Talk the greatest channel on YouTube?
Right. So if I can make this happen, I'm not sure I can make it. I've already got the passes. But if I can, I'd like to, you know, get you something.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Let me know. Shoot me a text. You got my number. Let me know, and I'll let you know if I go. But I'm trying. I'm working on, you know, making it up there. I've already got the passes to go. I just got to figure out, you know, how to maneuver that in my life. Yeah, you know how it is.
I do, man. Appreciate it. You have a good night.
Yeah, man. See you later, buddy. All right. So who we got here left? We got to wrap this up in a minute, but
I made it through the whole thing.
I know, Gutters. What the hell? Yeah, your company must hate you. They've stayed at the Waffle House.
He came.
I'll be right back. Y'all talk smack. We still got Dingo. Guru's probably peeing off the porch or something like that, and LW's still here. So I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna go pee off the porch myself.
Oh, there you go. Way to be civilized. So how's everybody doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I don't know what LW's probably peeing off the porch too.
No, I'm here. Guru,
Oh, okay.
I remember talking to
Is this
Guru.
a society of peeing off porches?
Yeah.
We've got our own Bohemian Grove of
uncivilized
porch.
redneck.
That's a very select society. You have to be tapped on the shoulder, on the left shoulder, 3 times.
Right. This is the new Skull and Bones, except way worse.
They actually
Yeah,
have to
like I was-
pee over their left shoulder.
Like I was saying about Skull and Bones, I don't think there's really any like relevance now. Like I think, you know, decades ago, it was just again like a Northeastern Yale club with you know, rich kids that went to Yale that were waspy. You know, they would be in that society. I don't think they were controlling the country or anything. Well, I guess, I mean, you know, a lot of the kids that would come from those Ivy League schools and go into government and, you know, judgeships, things like that. But I don't think it was like a secret cabal.
No, I think it's more of a network society where, you know, hey, if you're privileged enough to get into there, you're going to be hooked up. You're going to get
Right.
that job.
Yes.
You're going to get
It's
accepted.
networking.
into certain
It's
communities.
networking.
I think of it like a filtration system. They go in there and they figure out which people will just fucking do whatever you tell them to do.
I just see it as networking, basically.
And honestly, a lot to do with the lodges for Masonic stuff. A lot of that's all networking as well, as far as local communities.
So totally agree. I mean, that's
Okay,
the whole
so
point. It's like joining
who
a
are-
Rotary or like BNI. Like it's just it's networking.
One of the
It
things
is.
through our research that we found was 90% of it was for all for good. But there was kind of a 10% that, and I'm just kind of putting out there a percentage. It could have been more or less, but that wasn't good. And those were the highest up ones, and the ones that made it. That was kind of the conspiracy part of it, was that those are the ones that are, you know, not doing good things for people and having satanic worshiping and or those sort of things. So
Well, I totally agree, and use that 10% numbers. Almost any type of organization you come across, or even groups of people, you're always going to have 10% that aren't doing the right thing.
right, the problem is the 10% are the highest, so they rule the 90% below them. They're in like it kind of
Gutters is like the church lady from Saturday Night Live.
that's right.
Hey, y'all remember like the 80s and like early 90s when like satanic music was like all the rage? Like they were talking about that on like Sally Jesse Raphael and Maury and all the talk shows and stuff. Remember that?
Yeah.
You're not the father.
I'm just amazed that Sally Jesse Raphael has come up twice tonight.
I know,
Oh, really?
right?
So weird.
So here is one of like the most like illuminating things about that. So I was watching some kind of documentary with Ozzy Osbourne, and he was talking about like back in the 80s he was accused of being like a Satanist and like preaching like the devil's music. He's like, people are telling me I'm a Satanist, so I could barely get out of bed in the morning. I don't have the energy to do something like that. It really hit me. I was like, okay, this is all bullshit.
Yeah,
And
good old-
then there was Silas.
Got us all thinking.
I know that joke hit hard.
It's true though. Think about it. It's like, he's like, Ozzy's right. It's like you got to put like a lot of time and commitment and energy into something like that. He's like, I could barely get out of bed in the morning.
Right. I mean, yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, the Satanist who wakes up and like has like toast with jelly,
Right.
in some fucking mansion,
With his tea.
right, with his fucking English tea. But yeah, it was all,
And dog shit.
all that satanic panic back in the day. It was like,
Exactly.
oh my God, kids are wearing Metallica t-shirts. Oh God.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of money to be made though. That's for sure.
I mean, how many people got in trouble for like ordering like his kids ordering from Columbia House those records
Oh,
that you shouldn't have. I remember my mom got so mad at
dude,
me.
I'm still scared. Like,
Oh, they're coming after you, Guru. They're coming
Oof.
after you. Did you see that Columbia House has a class action lawsuit that you will spend at least 19 more years in purgatory just because of this?
wow, my word.
You're going to have to pay for all those Boys to Men tapes you bought.
Right. I remember I bought it was not bought. I mean, I didn't send him a fucking
Right.
time,
I
but I stole basically from Columbia House. Who was it? It was Sex Package. The Digital Underground was one of the tapes that I got, and I remember I had to like hide it because I came from a very prim and proper in a religious family, but I remember my mom found that and oh my God, she threw it away and was mad at me. I got grounded, because that was one of the cassettes.
I knew that free Nirvana Unplugged CD was too good to be true.
Right.
Columbia House. All of you are going to hell, and I'll see you there. Bring your tapes with you.
That was a weird business model, though. Like, how did they make money? Well, apparently they didn't. They went out of business, I guess.
How could that possibly work? Nobody.
Did
paid.
they just throw out like a huge net and said somebody's going to pay us?
Yeah, right.
I
It was
guess-
basically based on like an honor system. Like
Yeah.
we'll give them 35 fucking free cassette tapes, and they'll totally buy like 35 from us.
Right.
Well, they would bill you every month after that, but it was like a bill in the mail. Remember, everything was COD. Remember COD when you would like pay the fucking like the postman?
Yeah, they would
cash on
advertise that
delivery.
on the TV, like, pay COD. They're like, oh, okay. Like, I'm good for it. Come back the next day. And you like move.
Right, exactly. It was COD, like cash on delivery. Remember when you would pay the postman though?
Like
that was
COD.
insane.
Yeah, you trust the postman to deliver the payment.
Yeah, because everybody knows that. Yeah, the post office has definitely hired the best people in the.
But that
past
was like
20
that
years.
was like the highest
30
of
years.
like trust. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
trust you. And then yet actually earlier this week I saw like on YouTube like an old like 90s undercover, like they went undercover some post office and they were all drinking on the job.
Who, the post office people?
Yeah, and they went like the news people went to the like
What are
the
they drinking,
garbage
like
on
Colt
site at the
45s
post
or
office,
something?
and it was full of like 40-ounce liquor bottles.
Yeah, 40 ounces. Yeah. Nailed that one.
Well, I went to the post office about 4 weeks ago. They're all drunk still. I don't think that's changed much.
And what about the DMV? I mean, you think there's a conspiracy?
The DMV.
Yeah. I mean, and that has to be like the most non-functional government agency ever,
Now-
other than the post office.
Now I will.
$210 a year per vehicle. for us.
The roughest DMV I've ever been to was in South Florida. Like, oh my God. Like, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But then I've been to some high functioning, pretty nice ones.
How many DMVs have you gone to?
I would say 4.
Okay.
Yeah. And the
So you're
worst
not
was
like a DMV guru, right?
no. But the
Okay.
worst one was in West Palm Beach.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, rough. You get there at 9 a.m. You'll be seen around 3.
I
Yeah.
don't know. All right, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the link in the chat because a few people keep asking. We're going to keep this running for about, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes more. But there are some people who want to speak their piece. So get ready, folks. We'll see what happens. Then
Guru,
we'll close it.
when I was getting my son his paperwork to get his permit and stuff like that, they told us our appointment was like 1 o'clock. We show up at 1 o'clock. They didn't see us. It was like 5 pages of paperwork. We got there at 1 o'clock, and we finally got seen at like 4:30. And then they told us, and here it's so big in the city. There's like 5 million people in the county. You have to schedule this like a month in advance. So we finally get to the thing at like 4:30, so 3.5 hours waiting. They're like, "Oh, you need this paperwork," and I'm like, "What?
Yeah, I hate that.
We can't do this?" And they were like, "No, you got to reschedule." And it was I had to reschedule for like a month and a half later. It's
Unreal.
horrible.
I know.
horrible.
Horrible. I have to say though, the one where I live now, like you just walk in, it's extremely well run. Like you don't have to make an appointment. They don't jerk you around. It's actually really good. And the dump, the county I live in, the dump it's unbelievable. It's fantastic. Doesn't smell, highly organized. They know what they're doing around here.
Doesn't smell.
Doesn't smell.
Wait, if the dump doesn't smell,
Does
then
not smell.
that's disappointing.
It costs
I-
us
I-
over
I mean,
$100 every time
There's
we go to
no
pick up.
flies, no maggots, no smell. Everything's organized. You got your electronics section. You got your
You
furniture
must
section.
live. Wait a minute. You must. Wait, you have. What are you? Your dump is like a goddamn Target. What the hell is
It's
going on?
it's fantastic. Every excuse I can get to go out there, I go. They have a paint section. They have a battery section. It's fantastic.
Oh my god, the guy's flexing on his dump.
Mm-hmm.
You must live in some hoity-toity place.
Well, I don't know. It's subjective, I guess.
Dingo, you hear this guy?
Yeah, I'm interested in visiting. It sounds like a nice dump.
I've been to some dumps, and let me tell you, this is a quality. This is the top of the line dump.
Top of the line dump. You see, I have a weird thing. Like when I go to the dump, you get that smell, like the
No,
old.
it's horrible.
Yeah, I know. It always makes me hungry. I always want to get breakfast afterwards.
Oh, that's
I always
gross.
wanted to show up there with that big wooden spoon and, just eat that dump sludge. You hear the old sludge,
Dude, what are you like Slumdog Millionaire? Ew.
Right, exactly. No, I'm not talking about curry.
Nothing like a dirty diaper.
Right. In a
Got
Walmart
'em, man.
parking lot. How you doing, Mr. Duggar? What's up?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all?
So what do
Oh,
you
good.
think, Mr. Duggar? Did we go to the moon or did we not go to the moon?
Well, I got to say we went. You know,
All right.
in the back of Kmart and made the film. No, I don't think we went.
You don't think we went?
No, I think that was all. You know, now knowing the government like we know it, you know, they lie to us about everything. So, I just want to say you can't go into my DMV unless you have an appointment. And,
Well, you have to make an appointment to go to the DMV.
if you have to, if anything to do with the title, to even get you know, go pay your taxes and get you a new sticker, you got to have a title. I mean, an appointment, which I must say though does make it run a lot smoother than what it used to.
I feel blessed.
You know, and
Yeah.
but our dump is like his dump, except it smells. You know, because we got the burritos. There's just some shit out there. You know, but it's full of crows and but the garbage is one dump, and then they have a refuse dump. But dude, I could spend hours out there just picking through that shit. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, it used to be you could go to the dump. I mean, my grandfather, he used to go to the dump and he would bring back more stuff than he would take to the dump. And like he really would. And he would use that stuff and he would make stuff with it or fix this with it. Or, I mean, he would go there with a toolkit. I remember going there like as a kid. He'd like, we're going to the dump. We got to take trash. And then next thing he'd be like taking a washing machine apart, you know, over there's like, I might need that pump. I might need this. And that's when, you know, stuff actually worked for years, but he would bring back all the stuff. Now they won't even let you do that, which is, you know, they're like, no, you can't, you know.
Well, they've taken it to a bigger point of reusing stuff. So they separate the metal and they actually make a little money off the garbage. Electrical, like you said, everything's separated. The steel, the metal, copper, the aluminum and stuff like that. They actually resell it to the metal companies, so they actually make a little money off that.
Well, you know how many of these places that it's like recycle, and they just throw it in the shit with the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's a normal dump.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord help your ass, you get caught throwing a battery away in our dump.
Oh yeah, that don't fly.
Yeah, you can go to jail for it.
No, you'll yeah.
And tires is a big
that's a good point. Like, there's a whole different section for tires.
Yeah. And, well, they charge you to take for them to take the tires too.
Well, I mean, you got to have the tires. If you got to burn some brush or something like that, you got to have that tire.
Yeah. Get caught burning brush with a tire in New Mexico. Come on, get you some.
Oh man, I've cleared many a lot of land, and you got to have some. I remember showing up to like tire stores and being like, you got some old days. They're like, well, yeah, okay, here you go. And it just handed the tires because you need them to start that fire. You got to figure out some way of burning all these freshly cut down trees. Is this not a thing anymore?
On the ranch, we used to burn dead cows with them.
Speaking of burn barrels, remember burn barrel doo-wop from Rocky?
Oh yeah.
We had a burn barrel.
I love those Rocky movies.
Oh,
hey, it's good to talk to you, Guru. It's good to talk to you, Guru.
Remember when Rock and Adrian get married? He's carrying her back, and they stumble upon the guy just singing doo-wop around the burn barrel.
Right there, yeah, they're like leaving the goddamn fish store, you know.
And they sing a special song for them.
How romantic! I mean, yeah.
Oh, I loved it. And it sounded so good.
You know, that's one of those funny things. That's like the first sports movie I think ever to win an Academy Award. You know,
I was like, oh, he's got that Philly sound.
I don't think I've ever seen this, Steve.
Oh, Rocky 2, you got to watch that. It's like first 20 minutes.
Oh, was that in number 2?
Oh yeah, number 2 is after
Oh.
he takes Adrian to the zoo. He's like,
Hey, take her to
wondering
the
if you don't
zoo,
mind
Rock.
marrying me
Take her
so
to the
much.
zoo.
Yeah, take her to the zoo, Rock.
Rock.
He's like, yeah, I just wonder if you don't mind marrying me so much. And she's like, yes.
Hey, yo, Adrian, I'll take you to the zoo.
I guess
What are
we're
you,
a thing
retarded?
now.
So
Yeah, I love that. He's like, take her to the zoo, right? Retards love the zoo.
Hey, you got a big mouth, you know that?
Oh shit! What's up, Steve Harla? What's up, Steve? How you doing?
Aloha, brother. Yeah, I don't have much to say, man. I just wanted to pop up and say hi because I see you in my chat here and there, and I was
Yeah,
trying
man.
to promote your channel. I love your shows, so just wanted
Yeah,
to say
man.
hi.
As always, you're in. Where are you at? You're in Hawaii, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's
Born-
living the
born
life
and
over there
raised.
in Hawaii. Aloha, Steve. What do you? So, Steve, let me ask you: do you believe we've been to the moon?
And what?
Do you believe we've been to the moon?
Oh, I believe we've been there, but I don't believe all the shit they're saying. You know what I mean? Like the video or whatever, the moon landing. I don't believe that's real at all. But I do believe we've been there somehow.
Do you believe?
Did we
Okay,
step on the
okay.
moon?
Wait. Do you believe humans have been there? Like, have we sent things there? There's a difference. You know, maybe we've sent things there, but
Huge difference. Yeah, I don't believe humans have been there.
okay, I like it.
So, fools, can we? I just want to get a poll. Like, who's on right now? Like, who feels like we went to the moon?
All right, I'll start with me. We'll go LW
Okay.
next, and then we'll go Dingo. We'll walk down. I do not believe it.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope, I don't believe it.
They made it at behind Kmart.
Yes.
You know, they created a movie with
No.
what, Channing Tatum in it?
I don't know.
Magic Mike.
No, it's
I like how
You're
that. I
right.
like how that pole crashed right in the middle of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know. He just went
It
to
just-
Channing Tatum.
It totally collapsed.
My
You
apologies.
started talking about Magic Mike. I'm like, we're talking about the moon.
Yeah, we're not talking about Uranus.
I heard someone say Kmart. It popped into mind.
Oh my God, this stream has gone so brutally bad, but I like it.
All right, so
I like
most
it.
of us believe that no.
Oh,
Wow.
we haven't heard from Steve. What was your answer?
I say, as far as humans, no.
I say I don't know.
Nate doesn't know.
So-
What's up, Nate the Great? How you doing tonight?
I'm
Well,
doing
I got a
good,
question.
Overwhelmingly, no.
Yeah.
Every guest I have on, I always try to remember to ask them this. So this is a good question. Do you believe in aliens, ghosts, and or Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
I believe in the possibility of aliens. I think that's very I believe that's very possible. There's a whole universe out there.
Yes.
So of course, and and we do have a southern border as well. But Bigfoot, no, I don't really believe in that. No. Ghosts, yes, I believe there is probably some kind of supernatural thing out there.
You know? I would say
Well,
yes to all three.
Anybody else want to take that?
I would say like a ghost and aliens. I think aliens are more like a government thing, because then you would have to kind of like disprove NASA, because they say they have the ISIS always and all their satellites. They don't see any of these things. They have like the 24-hour thing on YouTube. You know, they don't know all this crazy technology to go to the moon. They don't know that this stuff is coming in. ghost. I think it's more like a spiritual thing. Like I think there are demons in another realm. I think there is another realm we can't see, but that's more like a spiritual thing. Bigfoot, nope.
He's on TikTok.
You know what, LW? A lot of people, as far as the ghost, a lot of people have said that pretty much the same thing, but it's always demons. It's like believing ghosts, but it always goes to demons. So a lot of people think that same thing.
I know people who truly believe in it, like entire families, they see them. People who don't see them. So
right.
I don't know if that's like some weird conjuring up shit or whatever, but that's just my opinion. I could
But
be wrong.
is it people who want to see them or people who don't want to see them? I mean, you always have to look at that. And I do agree that like you can look at things like that and say like your mind can create these things and make you think about that. But yeah, you have to look at it both ways.
No, I think it's both. I think people can see things their mind creates, but I also think people can see real things because they want to see them and they believe in it.
So regarding Bigfoot, didn't Bigfoot used to just be like a Pacific Northwest thing? Like, when did that become everywhere?
When gutters moved to Portland.
Right, exactly. And you know, LW is basically making a Joni Mitchell song. You know, I look at things from both sides now.
I definitely
yeah.
Well, I believe in the Holy Ghost, and there's a yin and a yang
Amen.
and everything. If there's a Holy Ghost, therefore the devil is real.
Right.
I believe in spiritual people who, people who died that have unfinished business that might keep them on their spirits around. I've heard noises and I had some experiences that I couldn't explain. As far as alien, well, of course I believe in alien. But
well, there can be no good without bad.
Right.
There can be no sane without insanity. So everybody has to look at things like that. If whether you're religious or not, none of that really matters.
Right.
But there can be evil. Evil doesn't exist without good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's either way. You have to look at it like that.
Fools, that's
Like the
very.
Ten Commandments. People are like, fuck that. That's religious. Well, yeah, you know what? Don't fuck your neighbor's wife, and you won't have a bad problem in the world.
Right.
Don't steal from people, and you won't. Thou shalt not kill. But you know what? If you don't kill people, I mean, they are really good rules that are set down. Hey, if you stick to these things, whether you look at it religiously or look at it objectively, if you stick to these things, your life will be good. So I don't care what your religion is or what you are. I've got Muslim friends, Hindu friends, Christian friends, obviously. But if you stick to these things, your life will not be a fucking shit show.
True.
Yeah, there's good karma and bad karma.
Yep.
So, what would you rather have, right?
Yeah. True.
Who was
So
next?
it-
Dingo. I think it was your turn to. What was your thoughts on the three things?
Well, when it comes to those three things, I believe in my own personal experiences. I don't try to convince anybody off of anything, but I believe in all three.
There you go.
Right on.
And well, I mean, I can elaborate more into it. Aliens, no, I've never seen any, aliens, but I believe they've probably been here longer than us and probably has something to do with interdimensional. But also, the most I'll say about this is, even in the military, you have certain NDAs that you sign, and it's basically elaborating on things of what to do when you make contact. Why would they have you do that if there's not something in question? As far as getting into paranormal, more spiritual realm, I'm not talking about what I've seen in question that. This is all government videos with actually me there and other people, and then the tapes all get shut down by the commissioner. So it's actually turned a lot of people that were religious where they just turned around and, they first thing they do is call it the devil. But even my partner, he quit night shift and went straight to day shift the next day.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh yeah, and as far as Bigfoot, I've had my run-ins with certain things that makes me question.
Have you seen Bigfoot?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've just had an encounter in woods with something yelling at me about 40 feet away. And I wasn't all up to date on all the Bigfoot stuff. But when I started watching some of these shows and stuff, it was the same yell. It scared the holy hell out of me. I was shaking for hours, but my partner was there too. And I didn't know what else to think of the situation.
Now, when
But
you
also,
refer to your partner, are you talking about your
my
gay,
law enforcement.
your gay lover, or
No,
Yeah.
my law enforcement partner.
The Starsky to his hutch.
But you have to understand is, I spent 10 or 11 years working night shift, and we're kind of here around the Smoky Mountains, so you're going to see a lot of things through the Appalachians.
Oh,
he's like fucking Chips. What was their names? What was their name in Chips?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Paunch and
Eric Estrada.
was it Paunch?
yeah, I can't think of their name.
Punch.
What was the blonde's name?
Hey, Punch will vouch for me. I seen him.
I was thinking Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, Guru.
Oh my God, Gixer wants to ask, do you believe Lucifer is a fallen angel? I mean, biblically, yes,
Oh yeah, that's what the good book says.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I?
Yes.
I think a lot of things that's tied into the UFOs is more biblical than people realize.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my turn.
Mr. Duggar is next. Mr. Duggar's up. What are your thoughts on those three things? Aliens, ghosts, Mr. Bigfoot, Mr. Bigfoot.
Well, I believe in aliens,
Of course. Look at your avatar.
and I definitely believe in ghosts. I've had some experiences, and as far as the aliens, I've seen a battle in the heavens, the skies. I guarantee I've seen some UFOs fighting it out. I've seen one come out of the water and fly off at an incredible rate of speed. As far as Bigfoot, the closest thing to Bigfoot I've seen lately is Nate.
True.
That's good evidence. All right, Guru, now it's your turn, brother.
So Bigfoot. So like I always thought that was like a Pacific Northwest phenomenon, but then like past 15, 20 years or so, like it showed up everywhere. So no, I don't believe in Bigfoot. As far as ghost, never seen one, never had an experience. Totally open to it being possible. So I just don't know. As far as UFOs, so I don't think we're having like visitors from other planets coming to us because space is so unbelievably huge. Like, why would they even stumble upon this backwater planet that we live on? I think of the Fermi paradox, which basically says if there's aliens, why haven't they visited us? I think what Dingo was saying as far as interdimensional, I think there might be something to that, or it could be time traveling of humans coming back from the future to see us. But I don't think we're being visited by aliens from like other galaxies or anything like that.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
I think the pyramids and stuff around that's built back in the old days kind of prove to you that we were visited from above. There's lots of hieroglyphics and stuff on there that picture spacemen carrying, oxygen machines or whatever kind of air they breathe. So, and some of the granites and stuff and the rocks and stuff that just we don't have the power to move them with machinery, much less.
Right.
I think maybe we don't give people back then enough credit.
Well, them things weigh, like 500,000 tons. Wood ain't going to get the job done. It's going to crush underneath that. So, I mean, there's a lot of proof out there that, and there's still a lot of million questions about how they built these things, and
I think I'm on the guy's page.
Well, hold on,
Copper. Hold on, Copper. It's not your turn yet.
Yeah, we'll go through the line.
We'll get to you. We're going through a line. Hold on.
Gutters Pub, you're up next. What are your thoughts on the three?
I think yes to all three, actually. All three.
Right.
And I've never seen a ghost say actually with my eyes, but I've definitely felt something. Something really weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I wish
yeah.
play and such would have been involved, but it wasn't.
I remember watching that movie. I think it was called Enigma or something like that. It was back in the thing where the ghost was like doing. Oh wow, yeah, that was some messed up stuff.
Oh,
Scary.
like Ghost, Ghost.
Yeah,
No.
I've never seen that movie though. I've never watched the movie Ghost.
Ghost. Oh
I've
my
never seen
gosh.
it.
You never
need
seen
to-
Ghost?
You know what?
No.
Here,
It's a
Fools.
treat. You need to
Fools.
watch it. It's a
Fools,
delight.
The next time that you want to get on Mrs. Fool's best side, yeah, you be putting that movie on, and I will tell you what. Just do it.
Well, every time I always turn on The Devil and Miss Jones, but I've only made it halfway through it. So
It's no Roadhouse, but it's a good Swayze movie.
Yeah, it's definitely no Roadhouse.
Oh,
It's
but it's
not
got
Roadhouse,
Whoopi in it.
no.
And
Or
since Whoopi's
Dirty
in it,
Dan-
it might trigger him because Whoopi has declined in modern times.
All right, sorry, Gutters. That weird feeling you got, that was me looking in your window. Nate, what are your thoughts on the three ghost, aliens, and Bigfoot?
Wait. What's weird is my security light just came on just a second ago. You weirdo.
yeah, that's LW. He'll never lie to you. All right, so moving on to Nate. What do you think about this, Nate?
I believe in all of them because I've seen Bigfoot on TikTok before. So yes.
Well, you've seen Bigfoot in real life.
He looked in the mirror.
TikTok is my only evidence. So yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I walked next to you in a Bigfoot costume.
Well,
So,
that is true. So yes.
Yes.
I believe all.
All right. Thanks, Nate. Mr. Steve, what do you got, Steve?
Yes on all three, but I've never seen an alien, and I would love to see an alien, but I don't
Just
know.
go
if I've
to New
seen a ghost.
Mexico.
I've
You
seen-
sure about
yeah,
that?
There you go. Well, that's the thing, because you can see an alien, hey, it's a good alien or it's an evil, but whatever, just to see one. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll regret it at the
He'll
moment.
just come to Oregon.
But in Ghost, I don't know. I've seen stuff and I've felt stuff, but then the human brain always tries to justify everything, right? So it's like I just question it all the time. Like, I don't know, is that what I see, or is my mind playing tricks on me? And then as far as Bigfoot, I believe there's something out, so maybe not Bigfoot isn't like the pictures and everything, because he's just a blurry creature, right? But I believe there's something out there similar to Bigfoot that we don't know about, that is powerful and stronger than any animal we know.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be nice if somebody other than Michael J. Fox took a picture of Bigfoot?
Or the same guy who filmed the moon landing.
Exactly.
Michael
So
J.
what-
Fox with a 1978 camera.
Does anybody have a major concern about seeing an alien?
It's a
What do you
good
mean?
life. Well,
Not really. No. I mean, I would rather No, I mean, of course, if something walked up and
I mean, to me, like my biggest concern would be the anal probing.
Well, no.
That reminds me of that one movie.
But that's just me.
But that one movie where he's like, "What's with the anal problem?" He's like, "We don't do that. Why does everyone say that? Why
Yeah, like why are we stereotyped like that? That's so not true.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Aliens.
it depends on how many White Claws I
in the
have that
Weekly
night.
World News. That's so not true.
How many White Claws
We-
I have?
I can't. I can't believe they painted us with that brush.
You know, there's so many game cams now. How come we haven't seen it?
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, they're all bad. All right, moving on. LW, take it away.
All right, we got Melted Copper. What are your thoughts? Ghost, aliens, and Bigfoot.
I think some regions there is what could be explained as Bigfoot, like in Florida, which is really just a wild monkey that got loose. Because we haven't found bones and there's plenty of trail cams and cameras are everywhere now. So I don't think in North America Bigfoot's a thing. I feel like aliens could be out there in the universe, but if you're an advanced civilization with spaceships, you wouldn't come here and talk to us on a respectable level. We'd be so much below that they wouldn't be talking to our government. They wouldn't give a shit. So I don't know if that would be really a thing.
Right.
As far as ghosts and stuff and God goes, I do think that there's a God, because I have freakish luck and things that have happened in my life that says there's, like, for example, check this out. I'm talking 6 strangers across the planet on things the size of a plate. So I feel like some things at a time might seem unfathomable, but eventually we'll learn the truth. Kind of like with like what one of you guys said, the lack of understanding, like everybody assumes ancient man were retarded, but like if we can build without aliens help all this technology, the Sears Tower, the towers in Bali, like man has always made giant structures on their own fine. We don't need aliens to help us.
Right.
I feel like stacking rocks and that level of architecture, yes, it's intelligent and great, but I feel like the technology we play with now is way more interesting than stacking rocks.
I agree with that.
Totally agree,
I do
Copper.
agree with that. I do have to ask you, Copper. The new look, I like it.
All right. Well, I had the Wolverine shops, and I always go to MCF, who's a Jew, and I was shaved. And anybody who grows hair, if you're a guy, you always play with different beards that you wouldn't grow. And I just thought it'd be funny to do the Hitler stash for a bit.
Right.
I was going to ask you if you've been to Argentina.
Because if I was going to pretend that I was J. Jonah Jameson instead, I'd be like, I hate Spider-Man.
Oh my
Melted, your
God.
audio, you came in great tonight.
Is it sarcasm? I'm always
No, it's not sarcasm. Not sarcasm. at all.
No. Your audio is cutting in and out, though, Copper. Like really, it's just like. Burp, 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 burp. I mean, we can understand you, but it's really hard to listen to. Just
I agree with them. Like we
He's
don't
fucking
give
with you.
people in the past enough credit.
That is funny, Copper, too, because I've done that before, what you did. But the tan line was so different that it was just super white. And then the mustache. So I was like, gosh, shit, I just had to shave the rest off. But you're pulling that off pretty good, man. I like
All
that.
right, yeah. I mean, other than I look like Hitler in Argentina because my hair's long, so I got like a Hitler mullet. Going back to the conspiracy there.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Didn't Hitler used to look like that almost before he
Yes,
got
Nate. Yes, Nate. That's what we're laughing about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, well, so hopefully MCF. It's funny because MCF's usually live every night. Since I started supporting this look, I was like, it'd be funny to go over there, and he hasn't been live.
Yeah, he's never mind. I'm not going to make any bad jokes.
Right? Oh yeah, I know.
I'm going to refrain. I just caught myself. All right, folks.
I'm learning the
I caught
rooms.
myself
Like
not
I
making
came
it
from a room that's way more salty than you guys. You guys are more regal.
Yeah, we try to keep it pretty tame over here. We like when different people can discuss topics and go back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah. I like dialogue more than you've been there where you go on a show and there's somebody has nothing to talk about. They're just yelling insults for 45 minutes.
Right, exactly. I don't like that. I don't want to be on a panel with a bunch of people that I don't want to be like a bunch of retards. I don't want to be on a panel like that.
Right. And if you're gonna be that kind of person, at least be funny with your insults. Like, you know, like don't bore me when.
At least look like Hitler, right?
I found Bigfoot.
Oh, you know what's funny? I was dressed like this, and I was defending Mel Gibson because I forgot what I looked like, and I was like, "Wow, I probably didn't do that guy any favors."
All right, well,
oh, go ahead, sir.
No, take it away.
I was just going to say one thing. Like, Melted God, what's your biggest conspiracy theory?
Oh
that you
no,
believe
the
in?
world is so crazy, and some of the most wacky, absurd things can happen. Because I mean, I love conspiracy theories. Like, if the world was flat, I feel like that would be awesome. Because I'm never gonna get on a rocket, but I could see me selling my house and getting a boat if I thought that was a real thing, and I could plausibly go on this adventure. So I
So
like
you're-
that for that sake.
So basically, you're a globetard. I get you. One of those
If you
globetrotters.
could take your boat, would you try to take it to the ice wall?
Fortunately, I'm like the Truman Show. He hated water, and I hate fucking cold. So they found a good way to cage me if the world was flat. Because I don't fucking like cold, so I probably would never try that.
Okay.
That's
Because I
why
would like
moved
to see
Hawaii.
what's on the.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this, Gringo, or Dingo, Gringo, Dingo.
Yes, Senor.
You call him Gringo?
I did call him Gringo. Dingo, would you like to see what's on the other side of the ice wall?
Well, yeah, if it actually exists, yeah.
See, that's another thing with this flat Earth thing. It's like, okay, so there's an ice wall, but then what's after that wall? And then if you're
None of
saying
us
that
have-
there's land
Wait,
after the
wait.
ice wall, you're saying that the humans on the other side of the ice wall then don't give a shit about their ice wall and don't have planes?
Imagine
another
the
thing, if the
assholes
world
on the
was
other
flat-
side. Hang on, Copper. Hang
Oh.
on. Imagine the assholes on the other side of us. None of us are flat earthers here. Like none of us.
Oh, yeah,
None of
this
us.
is
So
ridiculous.
anybody listening, that's a
But on
total,
that
that's a
scale, though,
total
I
joke.
thought if you believed in it and you thought the world was flat, then why wouldn't there be another Earth on the table next to it? Like, how big would this flat plane go?
Right.
How would I phrase this? Where is the astronaut on the flat Earth scale? The guy who's like, I want to go past this. Because, like, on normal Earth, us, there's people who want to go to the moon. They see the opening and they're like, there's something to look at. Where are these people?
on the other side of the ice wall.
Sometimes I think people are just bored, especially now in America. It's like we're so untouchable on this side of the earth that we question the simple biology of male and female. We wage war against pronouns and basic words. We're bored over here.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, the pronouns thing, I'll never buy into that. I'm not playing that game.
Oh yeah, it's
Homie,
so
don't
ridiculous.
play
And another
that.
thing too, if you're a train, no offense to trains, listen, I watch Maury. There's people who can pull off looking like a lady, and you can
I
trick
watch
them.
Maury.
See, so like,
Bring
it's
out
not
the
my
olive.
fault that you look like a guy. You just suck at being a tranny. You need to get better at what you're trying to do here. Okay, that's not me saying. I wear costumes. I know how this game plays. Here's another thing too. If I
Please
showed a
never
picture
come
of
on here as a
Bengali,
tranny.
a
If you
clown,
come
and a
on here,
lady-
wait a minute, Copper.
Sorry.
If you ever come on here as a you know,
a lady,
Adolphus, Adolphus tranny, please never do that to me.
if I can bust it out right now. And
No, please do not. We do not need to
Hi,
see you
hi.
in a dress.
I'm gay Hitler.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
All right.
Right. All right. This show's going to get shut down. Listen to everybody out there. It's been really great. It's been great having anybody got any last words? I think this is a good time to wrap this up.
I agree. It was absolutely a
I
blast.
didn't even shut down the show here. I'll beam off, man. I'm sorry. I was getting off
No.
Oh.
It's not that. We've been going for like almost, I think you ended it well and added some comedy to it. So, but it's getting late. We didn't intend to run this. So, last words. Let's go. LW.
Oh, this was a blast.
Wait. I'll wait for you last. Let's go on ahead and jump in here. Nate the Great. What's your last words, brother?
I like women. I like thick girls, Latinos. Yeah, that'll be it. Good night.
All right. Thank you, Nate the Great. We really appreciate you. All right, Melted Copper. What do you got for us?
Oh, I'm just glad you let me on, man. I'm having a good time figuring things out. You know, I wish I got on the moon conversation, but you know, another time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Love you, brother. Love you, and love the new look too. I hope you support.
Right.
that.
Oh yeah. Hopefully not. I'm not gonna hold this too much longer. You see where I'm growing my chin strap back.
Yeah. All right, Cobb. You got any last words? Anything you want to say?
No, just God bless everybody. Have a good fucking weekend, man. The summer's happening. Grow your garden and live life before you can't.
All right, man. We appreciate having you on. Thank you
Right.
so much.
Love you guys. Farewell.
All right. See you, buddy. All right. Well, that was interesting. Steve, what do you got for us, brother?
So, just two quick things. One, shout out to you, Traveling Fools. You got a great channel, great show. You're a great dude. I listen to you all the time. And two, everyone in chat and everyone in panel, just remember at the end of the day, we all have a lot more in common than we don't. So let's stop focusing on the things we don't have in common. And maybe we can all make this world a better place together.
I love that. I love that. Amen, sir.
Very
Amen. And Steve, if you comment in the chat, I would really like. Steve's a good guy. I don't know if anybody's subbed up to him from over here, but if you would comment in the chat, I'll make you a mod real quick. If you're not already, you probably are, but drop your link in there. I'd like people to go over there and sub it to you because you're a really good guy. And I like the stuff you do. You're always spreading good vibes, and I really like that. So,
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
yeah, big. You know, you're a good guy. So,
And likewise, so are you, brother. That's what, like I said, I always promote your channel. And
there you go. Comment in there.
I got you right here, Steve. I'll get you.
Yeah, there we go. LW's
Oh,
got it. Yeah, everybody go over there and sub up Steve. He's a good guy. And you got good content, man. I watch your stuff all the time, and yeah, I like it. So, thanks
There you
for
go.
coming on. You're welcome anytime over here.
right on, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Mhm. All right, man.
Much love, guys.
All right,
See you
love
later,
you,
man.
brother. All right, Guru, what do you got for us?
So I know your topic was conspiracy theories, and my thought is most things aren't necessarily a grand conspiracy. It's more based on incentives and what people have to gain on things. So just keep that in mind. I don't think it's based mostly on a
Debbie Downer over here.
I'm just telling you, that's just the reality. So
Yeah, this guy thinks we went to the moon.
I'm a free thinking mofo. What can I say?
I'm free thinking. I think we landed that jalopy on the moon.
I'm not a groupthink guy.
Yeah, you're a
I keep-
goddamn Gators fan.
I keep
Hey,
my
you-
own.
listen,
I keep my own counsel.
Listen, when you drop your jorts to take a dump, do you actually? Yeah. We've all been to Gainesville, Florida, so.
That's right. Some of us have been blessed. Yes.
I got lost there once. You remember that?
How about that? How about that national championship we got earlier this year in basketball? How about that? That's nice.
Basketball. Next, he's gonna be talking about golf. Do you remember when I got lost in Gainesville, Florida?
Of course, we rescued you out of the bush.
You didn't rescue me. You ditched me. This motherfucker ditched me and left and says, I'll be back in 20 minutes. And just ditched me at a goddamn house party. That's what really happened.
Well-
And left me there. I was about to sleep in bushes until I
About to, I think. Didn't you like cuddle up in a like?
No. I found my way without.
Well, no, I know you did. Like, after the party, it was like, oh my god, look there's somebody in the bush.
You ditched me. But yeah, but either way.
But you know what? But like White Fang, you found your way home. So good for you.
Like White Fang, I found my
It's like Homeward Bound. Like you were like Homeward Bound. You found it.
Friends like these. Who needs enemies? All right. Dingo.
Yes.
Yeah, and last words.
Yes, I do. I appreciate you guys having me on here. Had a good time. Great conversations. But one topic we didn't talk about is, you know, I don't think birds are real. They're really government cameras fly around listening to us.
That's right.
I believe in that as well. So
Did you all talk about chemtrails?
oh my God.
Oh, that's a whole other topic.
Well, I can do a 3-hour show about that. Let's do it.
Oh
next-
wow, you guys didn't scratch that surface? Oh boy.
Hey, listen, y'all don't leave the stream. I'm going to end this. You'll still be here. So just hang on 1 second. Don't leave the stream. We will end this. Gutters, what do you got?
I don't know what I got because
You gotta say something sexy. I mean, you're only chick here, so goddamn.
Right.
I'm getting ready to go on vacation.
Hey,
I'm
you
getting
remember
ready
that
to
voice
in my
that
RV. Is
you
that
used?
sexy enough? Ooh. Yeah. I'm going. I'm glamping.
Mm.
So, yeah.
That just went all wrong. All right, everybody, make sure you sell it to Gutters. LW, last words.
It was a great night, great show. Dingo, appreciate you coming on at the beginning, man. You were
LW,
awesome.
why do you sound like one?
Hey,
of,
thank you.
Like, LW, why do you sound like one of like Marge Simpson's sisters?
I don't know, man. Every time I
Selma.
talk,
It's Selma.
yeah,
Or Thelma.
appreciate it. Well, there's my little gig at the end. No, it was fun. Dingo, it was fun, man. Awesome. I hope you come
great.
back. Hope you come back.
appreciate it.
Guru, it was good to see you again. I think we talked back on full streams way back in the day, like 3 or
Long
4
time
years
ago.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, I remember.
So far
LW.
back, you were asking me, is Tua actually a good quarterback?
Yes,
That's how long ago.
dude.
And-
Listen, I have proclaimed no.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna end this thing.
Yeah.
Y'all hang out. Don't leave. Don't hit the exit button. We're gonna talk in the back stream for a minute. Love everybody. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. And not our normal show on Friday night, but we had a blast. Thank you so much. We're gonna go out on this outro. Nobody leave.
I'm
See
leaving.
you later, alligator. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We love all of you.